All of them. Bwah, 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 bwah. Fart noise, crowd applause. Yo, 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 we're live. Bwah, bwah, bwah. James not pressing any buttons.
Like you don't have the laughter and the applause together.
I don't know. we can make that work in the future. Hello.
Hello.
And welcome to episode 5 of the Doapness. Wow, the camera's really close, and we're like,
I can move it back.
yeah, well, yeah. Let's see if we can. The frame is really. Well, we're off to a great start already. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's cool. That's more comfortable. Much better. You can see all the other human beings. So let's try. Let's start over. Do over. Welcome to the 5th episode of the Doapness, where we didn't think we'd get it this far. Yeah, we made it. We can retire after this. So, if you are here, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Please partake in the chat because we like hearing about what you guys have to say. And today's going to be a spicy episode. We'll get into why in a bit. If anything needs adjustment, you need to let us know because we can't hear what you hear.
Suck.
Yeah, everything here, we're flying by the seat of the pants. Today's episode almost didn't happen because of running errands and shit. Because today's sponsor is... we're gonna get taken off the air. Mountain Dew. Oh, it's yo! You can't see it. That's awesome. That's fucking. We didn't even plan that. That's wicked. Just like my hand goes invisible. So.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
This invisible cola. Oh man, if I drink it, will I go invisible? And then be like Kevin Bacon in that movie? What was that movie called? Don't say the invisible. It's not the fucking invisible. Jesus. You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah.
Get right.
I do.
There we go. Closer to the mic. Last week we had to figure out how close we need to get Mike and Matt and James to the mics. But this week we have a heated debate in store for you. This guy and I are going to be screaming at each other soon. I'm trying to beat around the bush until we get there because it's going to be violent.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you guys are here, let us know. Say hello. If you have a couple bucks, chuck it at here. You can kill me by using this thing, by either subscribing, following, etc. And this thing, the donation bar, help us recuperate some of our losses. Emphasis on the word loss. So a bunch of things happened over the... I don't know if it's weird. It's like... Every Saturday that we do this shit, I'm like, oh, fuck, what are we going to talk about? And then the day before, I'm like, oh, my God, there's too much to talk about. And you really have to narrow it down. If you want to be a sponsor, like our sponsors, Mountain Dew. Yeah, just keep slamming that. Like our official, contractually agreed upon sponsors, Mountain Dew.
Oh, shit.
What the fuck?
My bad.
Get in touch because if you give us even $1, we will promote your shit. You should give us $1 anyways, though. If you are a music producer and you want your music heard and like advertised up there so we can arrogantly speak over your hard work and just ignore it the entire time, please get in touch. I would love to feature your beats. We're always looking for more instrumentals. What else? I feel like that's everything. And also, if you don't chat, that little icon up there will lie to us and not actually show how many of you are actually watching this. So, we hit our 17th follower, so that's a fucking milestone. I think we were at like 2 episodes ago, so we're gonna be rich soon.
Almost at that Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we can watch out, Joe Rogan, which is like what this whole thing's gonna be about, almost in part. It has been... Oh, yeah, so we got to talk about the Mountain Dew thing. So we live in Canada, and we don't get a lot of the cool shit that other places get. And it was like a big fucking deal all over the internet that Canada now has Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Hollow Man! Thank you, Channing! That's what it was called, not the Invisible Man. Hollow Man, where you see like... I remember seeing that shit in the theaters. I was way too...
I was trying to tell you the whole time.
You can use your fucking microphone.
I don't want to interrupt you.
Dude, just... Dude, that's hilarious. I know what that's in reference to. The first time he came on the show last week, he's like, so any pointers? I'm like, yeah, when someone's on a tangent, don't interrupt them. That was too polite. I was asking. Dude, God bless you. You're
I'm gonna try this drink now.
Yeah, not yet. I gotta ramp it up first. But yeah, thank you, Channing. It was called Hollow Man, and I remember when I was like 10 years old and that movie came out, I was like, shit, this is an interesting take where the Invisible Man gets like drunk with power and does some shit. But it's Kevin Bacon, so in his contract in every movie, he has to show his penis. So, dude, I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
I was going to say that's the only thing I remember from that movie is Invisible Man dong.
Yeah, it's like when they're like using the heat vision, you just see this like dick. You're like, what? Come on, was that necessary? Get to see Kevin's dick? Yeah, his invisi dick. It's dope. Kevin Bacon's dick is in way too many Kevin Bacon's movies. So, where was I? Oh yeah, so the internet fucking exploded because Canada now has Mountain Dew Baja Blast. And I would say the majority of internet users are children. Not children, like teenagers and shit, because you're in that age where you have like autonomy and you know the things you like and you want to discover new things. So you're constantly on the internet. You don't have the responsibility of having to go to fucking work and bills and other things and raise children yourself and stuff. So you have the free time to use the internet. So it's weird to see super irrelevant things like Mountain Dew Baja Blast become such an important internet staple. Like meme culture is so fucking weird that like the values that are so fucking revered are like the most like inconsequential shit ever. And anyone with like, I don't know, bills to pay or like an actual social life doesn't give a fuck about these sorts of things. But the majority of the internet aren't those people. No offense, people on the internet watching this. We love you. Please subscribe. But it was like a fucking massive deal that Canada got Mountain Dew Baja Blast. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sakes. Like, it probably tastes like shit. But then I went to bed that night and I was like imagining like, okay, everyone's talking about it. Like fucking everyone. And I'm like imagining in my mind like what the most perfect taste would be like of a soda, or in this country we call them pops, what a pop would taste like. And he and I both have had our separate, this is going to sound hilarious, but Coke addictions, where we've been addicted to Coca-Cola. I was a super fat kid. He's got the metabolism of Superman and never gains weight. So it just I guess affected your mouth. We got sick in our own ways from how much we enjoyed soda. So right now we're going to be breaking edge. But I gotta provide context on why this is a significant deal. For some reason, Mountain Dew is like mimetically like the drink of choice for nerds. You know what I mean? Like when you think of a neckbeard kid, it's like Mountain Dews and like taquitos from 7-Eleven. And I guess it's because they're slobs and slovenly and they don't.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the. I didn't even touch the button.
Thanks, Channing. I was like, are you pressing buttons by mistake with your elbow?
Me too.
Yo, thank you, Channing.
And I think it's the drink of choice because high caffeine.
Is it high caffeine?
Yeah.
Really?
90 milligrams. I'm pretty sure.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God, it's actually 89 milligrams.
So he's going to be wired.
Yo, I'm excited. This is going to be a good
And
episode.
then I'm pretty sure the American versions
Even more?
even
Because the
probably
FDA
more,
is
and
like
it's probably more
poisoning
like
people.
sugar. Maybe not.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yo, Channing, because you followed, you actually brought me down several health points. So if we get enough subscribers, I die. And same with dollars. Every dollar is like 50 hit points or something. So if any of you viewers have a buck to spare, kill me. But it's weird how like weebs, like anime obsessed folk,
Yeah.
and neckbeards fucking love this shit. And I'm like, it would not leave all of my social media feeds. And I'm like, I don't actually fucking care that much. And then I went to bed and had a dream and like tasted this like in my dream, literally. I was like, oh yeah, Mountain Dew Baja Blast. And I was like, oh my God, the hype is real. And I was like, I woke up in the morning. I'm like, all right, on the episode, we're going to try this fucking nerd drink. But it's just weird that like a specific beverage becomes like indicative. I'm going to block out Matt's face with the drink. That's so cool. Man, green screen technology is wonderful. But like, I couldn't even describe like what it tasted like. You remember when we went to the Shameful Tiki and we were having like really extravagant cocktails that were like $50 a pop and shit? Like the layers of flavor in some of those things.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I went to the Dark Manor in their new fucking restaurant.
Yeah. How's
Just as good. Better drinks too.
that?
Yeah.
Can't wait to go.
And it's like haunted house themed. It's fucking sick. But went to bed, had this stupid dream about the most delicious beverage I've ever tasted. I woke up and I was a changed man, and I just played fucking Counter-Strike for the rest of my life and watched anime. And then I decided that that would be a bit of a bit. So as a joke, you know, a bunch of people on my feed were like freaking out about where to find this shit and stuff. And people were like, And actually this show this morning almost was late because he and I were driving around trying to find where this shit is fucking available, because apparently it's only an exclusive at Max. I love how I've been talking about a fucking beverage for like fucking 10 minutes now. But it's like supposed to be exclusive at Max, but these like mom and pop shops that like import shit themselves have had it for a bit, and it's like, it's the plug, as kids would
the
say.
American version is where I got it, so
It's the plug.
I'll be comparing the Canadian to the American, really.
I wanted to see what the fucking hype was about. So I like, because all of my fucking nerd friends, I have a lot of nerd friends because I play a lot of video games. I make nerd rap. I'm into super nerdy shit. I don't really give a fuck about anime that much because, you know, I fuck chicks. But like,
Wow.
you know, just laying it down. I fuck chicks. Fuck anime. Yo, you watch anime? Yo, well, I touched a girl. No, I'm just fucking with you. There goes all of our subscribers. I'm just fucking with you.
Oh shit!
Just cry your Mountain Dew tears. So I like, as a joke, I was like, okay, I want to see like, I wonder what kind of reviews there are out there for this shit. So I found this guy, and I like, this dude only has like 2,000 views, so it's not like what I'm showing you in the meme. So this is a deep cut. Okay, I'm gonna.
Is this one different because ours say Taco Bell and he's reviewing?
Ours say Taco Bell? Oh yeah, I guess it's the official drink of Taco Bell. I guess that's one of the charms of it. That's what Isaiah, aka my rapper buddy. I don't know if he wants me to plug him on this or not, so I don't know if I should say his name. But he told me it's the official Taco Bell thing. But yeah, look at this dude
from Michigan.
This is a really heartfelt guy.
What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing the Baja Blast versus. I got the Mountain Dew.
First of all, I should say that this is the archetypal person who makes a big deal out of Mountain Dew.
Living the VIP life.
Yeah, and it's weird. He has a drink that says 2016. Oh, I guess this came out in 2016. But this looks like it was filmed in like the early 2000s. But yeah, he's living that VIP life. Oh my God.
Baja Blast on the bottle. Yeah, Baja Blast and fountain drink.
Shaking.
Is he shaking? Oh, he's nervous. The camera's on. Ooh, yeah.
I'm going to do a color compare, so I'll pour some of this out. It's watered down a little bit, but I did taste it earlier because I did Taco Bell reviews.
Taco Bell reviews?
Doesn't really matter. It's about the same color.
Let's see. Oh, whoa. Ooh, fucking shit up here. Let's see. Like.
Put that down. And crack open this one.
Is this ASMR
For some
shit?
reason, the grocery store had it in stock. The expiring date on it is, I think it was like June or July. Let's see.
Does his review the shits?
Yeah, it's July.
Does he review the shits he
this
gets
year,
from Taco Bell?
Now let's try this. I already had it before in the bottle.
Oh, then.
Like I said, they restocked. So
Spoiler
give
alert.
this a taste.
Okay, here we are enjoying a man enjoying a beverage.
Yeah.
This is meta.
I like his.
Think about it, really.
It's like
So
a
the
wine.
Mountain Dew.
I love how he like saves his thoughts until he tastes the other
really
one. He's like,
savoring
doesn't
it.
say. Yeah, he's like, we got to switch it around.
From Taco Bell. Try.
Can I also state, you guys can't see this because we're like in the way, but at the very bottom it says MichiganVideoMaker, which is like the most fucking like, you know what you're getting. Like he's a man from Michigan that makes videos. It's
Yeah.
right in the fucking name. But here we go. And he's tasting
Straightforward journalism.
heartfelt grassroots. It's got a decent webcam in the background, same one we got. Here we go. What's the verdict? Oh, he's torn. He's like,
Yeah.
oh God, I gotta. He's putting so much thought into this.
He doesn't
Try
want
it
to lie
more.
to the people.
Oh, he's got to do another round. man, there's so much thought going into this.
I'm going to have to disagree with how he's doing it because he's swallowing it and you can't really compare. You know, he needs like a spit bucket to like really get all the flavors. Like, you know, he's not like rinsing with water either.
He's not cleansing his palate.
He's not cleansing the palate.
So you're saying the scientific experiment has
Yeah.
been botched?
It is.
Okay.
So.
I do love how much like he's so passionate.
I prefer the Taco Bell one.
Oh shit! Is that a dog in the
Flavor's a
background?
little better.
The dog was not happy with that result.
Taco Bell! What the fuck is wrong with you? This watered down syrup!
I mean, Taco Bell's mascot is a dog.
Oh shit! Yo, does he have the Chihuahua in the background? Oh, what?
Fountain drink.
Whoa.
You know what?
Conspiracy
You are
shit.
fake news.
This is,
Yo.
yeah, he's got a dog in the background. This is sponsored by Taco Bell.
Oh,
Taco
shit.
Bell's a little bit better.
Yeah, he
Chill.
looks like a dude rolling in Taco
Fucking
Bell money.
chill.
He's got that fucking stately hat. Like that's definitely a man who's been paid off.
It was sweeter. This one here doesn't have the lemon lime flavor to it.
Oh,
But you
so
still
what-
gonna drink it.
What flavor is it supposed to
I don't
be?
know, man. I'm about to taste it and find out.
Kinda
It
there, but
really needs a lemon lime.
it's not quite the same from Taco Bell.
Oh, dude, he's just like, this dude's gonna pee so much.
Yeah. Taco Bell wins.
Hey! Blah, 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 Taco Bell wins! Yeah, always, for sure. So now he gave his verdict. Let's see what another 2 minutes of this fucking video are.
Oh, God.
So I'll drink that later.
he's like, a little about me.
Overall, Taco Bell Baja Blast to me is better than Mountain Dew, you know, in the bottle.
All right.
Dead air.
Dead air, you know?
Oh! What the fuck?
There, he did it. That's what he was supposed to do at the beginning. Spit bucket.
But he's probably gonna drink
I would
the
still buy it, you know, if it's still available.
dude. Fucking spat right back in his drink. He doesn't like it, but he's drinking that one more.
Spit it back into the bottle.
He's
Yeah.
cleansing his palate of the other one.
Bite with the same drink. I don't think that's how that works.
Definitely different flavor.
Okay.
Not really a bad aftertaste or anything. It's not quite the same as Taco Bell, so.
Wow.
So I give the Taco Bell Baja Blast a 5 out of 5.
Holy shit!
Wow, that's a high score.
And I give this one here
Red
3.5
font.
out of 5.
Okay. Still good. Better than half.
Rather go to Taco Bell to get the Baja Blast.
Okay. So maybe we got to go to Taco Bell, get the true experience.
Maybe.
We got one in
You know,
Maple Ridge.
The bottle or can form.
Bottle or can for.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate,
You're
comment,
welcome,
subscribe.
man. Oh fuck yeah! I'll
Thumbs up this
subscribe.
video. Let me know you like it. Thanks.
Hey!
Wow.
Dude, that I love like a true servant of the people. You know what I mean? Like that dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that dude took 4 minutes out of his life for our benefit to make sure that we were making sure we were getting the proper Taco Bell experience, and we're still gonna go in contradiction of his advice and go with the bottle, which is only the 3.5 experience out of a 5 experience. So, can I just say that like this has been so hyped up, there's no fucking way it's gonna live up to any expectations whatsoever.
No.
This would have to taste like the tears of God himself,
Okay,
herself.
When I tried it like a year ago.
So he's already
next door,
spoiled it. You haven't tried this,
It
have you?
tasted like pure fucking sugar, and I had no flavor. It was just sugar. It just tastes sweet.
Like granulated sugar inside
Like
liquid.
like no, not granulated, but like just fucking like pure fructose.
Interesting.
Like if you were to just put some food coloring in fructose, this.
Interesting.
But that was also the American version. So
Hello.
it's,
Hello, thank you for joining us. You probably missed a bit of context, but essentially dorks across the globe are stoked on Mountain Dew Baja Blast. I don't even appreciate sugary drinks that much. I used to be addicted to them. So did he. I don't know if he was ever addicted to them as bad as he and I were, but I mean, none of us really give that much of a fuck about it. And to be entirely honest, we don't get that hyped about soft drinks because we fuck chicks.
but
So
we will take Mountain Dew as a sponsor. So if you're listening,
That's right.
Mountain Dew,
Sponsor us, Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
But it's funny because like all morning I'm like, we're gonna be late for this fucking show. Episode 5 is gonna tank just like every other episode. People are gonna have lowered expectations if that were even possible. And then I send this dude into the store to get some. First of all, the first store we go to is a fucking drug front and is not open between like fucking 27 hours of the day. It's not even that many. 17 hours. I fucked up. There's a soundbite for you.
Stupid.
Yeah, fully. It's a drug front. And we went there because we heard they had Baja Blast. They didn't have it. So we had to fucking rip around them. We're already late. Go to Max. I pull up. I'm like, all right, man, here we go. Go get it. And right next to me, I'm like, in my head, I've like, you know when you verbalize things in your head, you're like, there's just no fucking way this is going to live up to the hype. I look over. There's a giant poster right next to my face that says, believe the hype. Wasn't that fucking amazing?
It was awesome.
It was so dope. So here we go. We're going to watch. I'm going to sip this shit and then I'm just going to start watching anime.
Are we doing the review now?
Yeah. Well, no, we don't even have to review it. I just want to see if it like, oh yeah. Don't fucking get that shit on any of my
Looks like
electronic
water.
gear.
Legit.
So here we go. Wait, we all taste it at the same time.
I'm smelling it like a.
Oh, what the fuck?
It's got like.
That smells like those
Definitely has that lemon lime flavor that dude was talking
yeah,
about.
but this is only gonna be a 3.5 out of 5.
Maybe.
It smells like a certain type of. You remember those 5-cent gummies?
Oh yeah.
The ones that are like, oh my god, no. Okay, you know when you go to the grocery store and you get those little snack packs of gummies to give your kids in their lunches that you pack them? This is those Dino Chews that are really soft.
Yeah, good call.
100%.
Right?
These
Good
are
call.
definitely the Dino Chews. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Everyone, swill this shit so
I
we
guess
can.
Spit bucket.
No, ew. Just do what he did and spit it back in your drink that you're going to drink after. All right. Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Cheers,
nice.
boys. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
It's definitely not as sugary as the other one.
What the fuck is this? That doesn't
Like-
taste like a Baja at all. I don't even know what a Baja is. If you're just joining us, we're reviewing Mountain Dew Baja Blast because it's the most overhyped shit I've ever heard of on the fucking internet by people.
Pretty weak.
It's very weak. Yeah, it's
Very
just
weak.
like I see what you mean. It's like just sugar and water.
Yeah.
Like I can taste. I feel like I'm getting hydrated as well as my mouth is being assaulted.
It's like if you got a Sprite and kind of watered it down with sugar water.
Yeah, but it's like even got an aspartame feel. But this has 90 milligrams of caffeine in it, so you got to chug that shit so we get hyped for. We're about to beat each other half to death on this
It might
podcast.
get
So.
you, it might not.
Oh, it's totally. Are you fucking kidding me? That's it. You're wrong. You're wrong.
Son, where'd you find this?
Just every soundbite at once. That was an
Apologize
assault.
for everyone.
That's that. What you just heard is what it feels like in my mouth right now. It's like a rude intrusion in my mouth, and everyone's invited. Yeah, I wonder if I finish this bottle, I'm just gonna have a more sincere appreciation for anime and like first-person shooters.
Maybe that hat will grow into a fedora.
Is it? But yeah, like the dude we just watched, he has a fucking fedora. Like he looks like the type of dude that you'd imagine would be addicted. In fact, when we went to the first place to pick up this shit that didn't have it, I watched a dude walking up from the corner store next door. I guess the second place you checked, you're like, the other place doesn't have it either.
Right.
He walks out and he like looks like this gentleman, and not to bully someone based on how they looked, but archetypes exist. I know a fucking pattern when I see one. And the fedora wearing kind of socially awkward dude for whatever loves Doritos, no offense, Matthew, and Mountain Dew. And it's weird that like both those snacks are like, they're like a common denominator across like nerds everywhere.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I did look in his bag, and he looked like he had some sort of a red drink. So I don't know what.
Code
he had.
Red, Mountain Dew Code Red.
Probably Code Red.
No, I looked and he legit
So-
had Mountain Dew. He legit had like standard Mountain Dew in one of his
I'm
bags.
a little disappointed you guys didn't get Doritos for this occasion, but
We're only experiencing half of the
yeah.
experience.
So I can only give this drink a 2.5 because we're missing the Doritos.
You really need to cleanse your palate with some Cool Ranch.
Hey, Cool Ranch is the only legit Doritos in my opinion.
Really?
So, I think so. No other chip kind of tastes like that. It's
Hello, Leah. Thank you for joining us. If you're here, please chat with us. We will talk to you. We need more engagement. And also smash that subscribe button if you have not. But chat, so you get documented and we get to talk to you. And we love you. Thank you for tuning in. The Mountain Dew shit is only one part of our segment today. But it is, I want to... Maybe it's because I'm really curious as to why this drink is such a big deal. And I think it's because, like... someone on the internet made a big deal out of it, and then it became a meme to make a big deal out of it, and like art imitates life, imitates art, imitates life, imitates art. Kids started perpetuating it just cause, mindlessly, kind of like the potato salad Kickstarter guy. It's like someone just started, like that made so much fucking money just cause other people thought it was funny, and then, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think a lot of people think for themselves, and everyone wants to be a part of something, so... Well, I'm really sucking the life out of this whole thing right now by over-explaining it. But, like, I do think a lot of, like, people hop on the meme train not because they're like, oh, yeah, that's funny and it resonates with something I give a shit about. But they want to be a part of, like, the joke. Because think about it. Every meme is an inside joke.
Yeah, basically. But you mean you also gotta watch out for corporations taking advantage of
That's a huge thing. When they just, like, remember the Skittles meme ad campaign?
Nope.
Really?
Which one?
Fucking they just started postering walls all over cities with like meme generated looking Skittles ads. But it was a dude's face in the middle and it's like tastes the rainbow, goes crazy. And it's like Skittles. It's like it's legit. People were like in uproar. It's really also I have some friends that are I don't know how to say. You wouldn't say successful. I wouldn't say they're very successful meme makers, but they're prolific. Like they have a lot of, for lack of a better term, clout. They have meme clout, and they make memes pretty much for a living. And it's just weird that like meme culture gets like really butthurt about certain things, such as corporate takeover or like people who steal memes and don't credit the originator. It's like, guys, like.
The first one, yeah. The second one, that's the point of memes.
Yeah.
Remix ideas.
It's true. But like when people remove the username who wrote the original thing and then just post the thing.
Like
fuck Jerry?
does
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you heard about that?
Yeah. I watched that whole Fire Festival
He did that.
documentary.
I didn't watch that yet. I was going to watch that for one of our episodes.
It's pretty good. My favorite part of that whole documentary is where it's like...
Sucking dick?
No, what's the rapper Ja Rule?
Ja Rule.
Okay, so it's like Ja Rule's in the beginning, and then shit hits the fan, and they just don't even mention Ja Rule once. He just disappears. He literally just disappears, and there was like probably a good 20 minutes. I was like, what the fuck happened to Ja Rule? I was like, he's gone.
Yo.
Throughout till the end, he's gone.
Yo, you know he's planned to do Fire Festival 2, right?
Yeah, but it's just so funny how he's like, he saw the shit hitting the fan and he's just like dipped out so fucking fast. He's like, I'm out.
No, I'm not available for comment. That is fucking amazing. Yeah, you know what? That's what we should talk about next episode. I'm like a month or two behind on this shit, but I've been busy. But like we should all watch the Fire. He's already watched it, but we should watch the Fire documentary and then
I was gonna last night. I totally forgot.
Let's do it this week and then talk about it next episode. That'd be cool. Because I feel like there's a lot to talk about there too. Everyone keeps talking about the one dude who was preparing to suck a dick for water. I was like,
that guy's a fucking trooper, man.
The only thing that I remember at the time was the one picture of the lunch, the sandwich and cheese.
Yeah.
That was it.
I
That
do
was the
kind of
only
like,
thing I
as much
remember.
as it was like a fucking catastrophe and shit. Thank you, Leah. Okay, Leah wants it. It shall be done.
It's done.
I would say the silver lining is that a bunch of spoiled rich pieces of shit got fucking decimated.
So good, yeah.
Like, just like, oh yeah, 5-star chefs. And it's like a ham sandwich you wouldn't even feed your kid. Like, watched it after my tat artist was bitching about it. Yeah, everyone's talking about it. So fucking we'll do anything for views. We'll suck dick for that view. So we're going to have to watch it and get back to you guys next week about it with some opinions and shit. Ooh, our aspect ratio went kind of crazy there. But yeah, so so let's conclude the Mountain Dew Baja Blast thing. I think it tastes like shit.
I also think it tastes like shit.
It's funny, it's real sugar, but it tastes like aspartame.
I mean, I like Sprite sort of, but it was worse than Sprite. So
yeah, it tastes like watered down Sprite with more aspartame, even though it's not aspartame, it's actually sugar. It's very strange. I'm gonna
Actually, sugar is glucose, fructose.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What the fuck does Coca-Cola have in it?
Same, but I'm pretty sure you can buy like
Real ones? Yeah, it's weird. They have so many different variations of Cokes, and I'm not even talking about
old school fucking.
Well, they have green ones now. What the fuck is that? Lifestyle Coke or whatever? Coke Life or whatever the fuck? You're the Coke expert.
I stopped paying attention when I gave it up.
He used to have an
literally
actual
can't
problem.
I can't even look at it anymore without
Hey,
cringing.
smart move. I haven't drank a Coke in so many years. I hate the flavor.
I'll admit,
Hate
It's
it.
terrible. Now.
on my weight loss journey, because I used to be like hopelessly addicted to Coca-Cola. I was actually talking to your fiance Sarah about this morning. I used to when you were at the corner store picking
out
up.
of 5. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 just because we're missing the Doritos.
I give it a 0.5 out of 5. Like I would drink this instead of water if I really needed some sort of flavor, but I would probably drink water 95% of the time.
100%.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck that. Like, I never want to have one of these ever again. Although, I will admit my fault for one, not getting the Taco Bell cup watered down syrup version, and also not providing Doritos. I drink over 2 liters of Coke every day. You got a Coke problem. Dude, that used to be us.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing, is on my weight loss journey, I didn't even get to this point. I was talking to, when I picked him up today, talking to his lady about how
It is.
I used to be super, it's 100% addictive for sure. I have been there. When I met him, he was in the throes of Coca-Cola addiction, and I used to be that too. But I got super fucking fat. Like I was 360 pounds at one point. And then I was like, okay, like a few years ago, I gave it up entirely. And then my ex kept buying them for me because I think she was secretly trying to get me fat to just lower the bar for both of us. And I got addicted to it again, like right away, as if because like, you know, like any addiction, if you break edge and just try it a little bit, you just like, oh fuck, I need this all the time. And even though I didn't even enjoy the taste of it, it was way too sweet, it was gross, I would just crave it and crave it and crave it, and I didn't even fucking want it. So I quit cold turkey again, started exercising like crazy, lost a bunch of weight, got like, look at me, I'm shredded now. But
Shredded, bro.
dude, I look like fucking Michelangelo's David. Look at me. I'm fucking I'm too swole to control. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna lie to myself. I'm gonna give myself a false reward system with 0 calories, because my main thing isn't drinking shit. My main thing is like, I don't want to be fat. So I switched to Coke Zero, and like that's like how I treat myself. Is like, if I do something, like I worked out or whatever, and it's 0 calories, so you're rewarding yourself with something that isn't actually giving you sugar or whatever. It's like, so I'll drink a shitload of Coke Zero now.
Is Coke Zero aspartame?
Probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
I mean, I hate aspartame. I can taste it
Yeah,
right away.
can't
fucking
stand it.
hate
I used to be the same way, but now it's the inverse. I can't stand this shit. Like, things with actual sugar do not taste pleasant.
Really?
In 2 hours from now, I will crave another one of these, but I did not enjoy this, like, at all. It's just it's kind of like when you smoke cigarettes. You can smoke pure tobacco but still crave a cigarette. It's
Yeah.
the chemicals, not the whatever. Poker slut, not cocaine. I turned to Coke after I quit drinking. Not cocaine. I know, dude. It was a joke. Come on. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about a fucking cocaine problem live on the air.
Yeah.
We're already trying to get banned because we're lying about
Sponsored
sponsors
by-
and shit. And we're showing other people's videos and shit. I'm just
Yeah.
counting down the hours until someone gives us a cease and desist or just like rips our shit down from the internet. Like that's the goal of this podcast, is to
Yeah.
fail. But yeah, okay, so out of 5, you said 2.5. I said 0.5 out of 5. What do you say?
0. I would never drink it ever.
It's pretty fucking bad.
It was really, yeah.
Thank
Water.
you. Thank
and
you for
sugar.
wasting like $5 on this, Matthew. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
got it.
I'll probably keep sipping it because it's caffeinated.
That's the only drink I have around me right now.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
definitely
So,
gonna keep sipping it.
fucking win in Rome.
I brought my cranberry juice.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, Mr. Fancy Pants over here
His
with his
pants are so fancy. So, fuck Mountain Dew Baja Blast. You know what? I will say, because going back to the point, thank you. You can get rid of mine as well. Good, sir. Thank you. I will switch to water.
2 sips of water.
2 sips of water. Better than Baja Blast, for sure. I'll huff paint instead of drink that shit again. Going back to the point I was making about like the majority of internet users and people who are on the internet the most being younger, I will say like if I were like 16, I would probably love this drink. Your palate's different when you're a kid. Sugars trick you into loving them more, I think, for whatever reason. That's why children would just eat ice cream 4 times a day and never get sick of it. But
I mean, isn't it like just as addictive as like, or more addictive than like cocaine and shit, but activates like the same parts of your brain?
it triggers all the dopamine pathways and shit. I believe it, but I've heard so many conflicting arguments about that shit where it's like, sugar's not addictive and sugar doesn't incite bad behavior and hyperactivity. I'm like, what the fuck? Sugar literally gets turned into like immediately spent energy that turns into a crash immediately afterwards.
And like it turns into insulin or something. Like,
yeah, insulin
but
spikes.
I mean, eat a lot of fucking sugar and then stop for a while. Your stomach will hurt because all that shit in your fucking stomach is like tricking your brain into wanting it, and like it comes in like.
You know who's saying it doesn't hurt you? Big Sugar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There we go. Yeah. There's our sound bites. I gotta say
I think sugar is one of the most evil fucking like companies out there. Like beside like.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't know too much about it. It might be worth looking into.
It's in fucking everything that doesn't need sugar, and it's like they put so much sugar in things that's like unnecessarily fucking unnecessary amounts of sugar and shit.
Just to get you addicted.
No, like I think they like push the limits of like how much sugar can we put in this drink before
the FDA cuts us off.
Yeah, before
like, we have to pay someone a couple more $1 million.
Notice that it's in there, you know?
Yeah, interesting. I don't know too much about it, but I do know that like, the sugar industry is really predatory.
Yeah.
Like they just like go places and do really fucked up shit, and then like I have to learn more about it. When I was working at Lush, and they're really all about like I was in the manufacturing part of Lush. I was making massage bars and soaps and shit for years. And it was a great job, great company, and then personal problems are a big issue in that company. Back then, I can't vouch for now, but I left with a bad taste in my mouth. But there was like massive, like we had a lot of activism fighting sugar companies that would do horrible fucked up shit. And I think it was like kind of like really hyper aggressive, what do you call it? Like pushing farmers out of land so they could put more like sugars and shit down. And then also like predatory wages.
Oh yeah.
Like just like hiring everyone in the area.
Wages fucking slicing sugar.
Channing says like there's literally a sugar overlord plotting to make everyone addicted to sugar and soft drinks for everyone.
At the same time, apparently they have lobbyists that promote the health risks, apparently.
Yeah.
Promote so there's like
lobbyists are lobbyists.
Well, it's lobbyists gonna lobby.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fucked up world we live in when the lobby's bigger than the house, eh? But metaphor. Here on the Doapness, we're all about deep creative layers. Where the fart noise. Why'd I ever give you that? Yeah. So before we get into our meat and potatoes, it's been the last few months have been fucking legendary for standoffs and battles. Yeah. Like think about, was it in the summer, Eminem versus Machine Gun Kelly? I don't fucking like either of those dudes, but that was entertaining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then we had what was it? Conor McGregor versus, was it Mayweather? Floyd Mayweather.
Versus everybody.
Yeah, versus fucking everyone. I mean, like, and that dude's a fucking twerp, and I don't really give a shit about him, but, like, the beefs are entertaining. It's good. It's good entertainment watching an unstable little leprechaun try to fucking take over the world.
We're getting some pretty good art and stuff out of these beefs, so
dude,
whatever.
To watch it, like, a steroided leprechaun get fucking super serious, it's like, oh, well, I got a chest tattoo of an eagle, and I dress in suits, so I'm going to take over the world and punch babies in the face and have tantrums, even though I'm a grown-ass man. Entertainment.
Put
like
spec on it.
It's a good entertainment. You're trash, and I have nothing. I would never like. I'd probably like. I think that's one of those people that like. I think he's like, oh hey, what's up, meat? You're here. Welcome.
Oh hello.
Give me your belt. I don't know what that's in response to. Is that something Conor McGregor said? Oh, like championship belt. Yeah. Oh, okay, I get. Yeah. His name's Dave88 now. Who is?
Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Are you joking?
No. Well, yeah. He made the joke.
No, I don't get it. I don't get the joke.
He's in witness protection. So they're like, can't be Tekashi 69 anymore. You're Dave 88.
Did you press the stupid button or something?
No. Fucking
Okay.
69's going to die in 2 weeks of being released. I got money on it. Said
Who said that?
Lord Channing.
Oh, I did. Oh, I fucking missed that one. 69's gonna die in 2 weeks of being released.
Yeah, when he gets released.
Dude, he snitched like fucking crazy. He snitched like hella crazy.
Stupid.
That's his voice. What did
Stupid.
What he did was a
Stupid.
little slow, but we'll
Yeah.
work on that.
He
Yeah.
just had you from a 69 to 88.
Yo, what's up? I love how like the dude's name is like his PSN network name from 2004 or some shit. You know what I mean? Whenever someone's like, "Oh yeah, Tekashi 69," I'm like, "What the fuck? That's just a weeb who created like a fucking Halo 2 name." Like, you know what I mean? Like, that is the worst fucking.
Yeah.
That's almost as bad of a name for a rapper as Progress.
Stupid.
That's a reference to our last few episodes of the Doapness. But yeah, welcome. If you're just joining us, we are the world's worst Fortnite podcast. We don't even show Fortnite, so or
We're
talk
the
about it. Other than we
world's
talk.
worst
About
Apex Legends podcast now.
We're pretty good at Apex Legends now, dude. I'm fucking so good at Apex Legends. I average like 3 or 4 kills, and the rest of my team does 20 damage. And I'm like, yo, I'm gonna suck my own dick, but y'all need to step up your game, crew. Nah, you gotta play super aggressive. You gotta fight the urge to duck and cover and whatever.
Yeah, nobody cares.
We'll turn into an Apex Legends podcast very quickly, I'm surely. But yeah, going back to like the standoffs, we've had great standoffs lately. We had fucking that Angry Leprechaun versus Mayweather.
Yep.
We had Eminem versus Machine Gun Kelly. We had the Dax versus Tory Lanez, which we covered
last one.
or
last
2 episodes.
episode.
2 episodes ago. I don't know. Maybe it was last week's episode. We covered it. Then we just had the bulk. Excuse me. Oh, it's that Baja Blast coming up. Oh God, that burp. That burp tastes like a mint.
Yeah, it was right in my face.
Did it smell minty? What the fuck is wrong with me? Yo, fuck you, Mountain Dew. You went from sponsor to poison me. Pussy Slayer at Triple X. Yo, like when I had roommates in the early 2000s, we all like chose screen names that were obnoxious as fuck, like Vin Diesel 420 Triple X 69, like 420 420 420 swag.
This year we've had Wet Worker versus Baja Blast.
Wet
Baja
Worker
Blast
Yo, so we had Angry Leprechaun versus Mayweather. We had Eminem versus Machine Gun Kelly. We had Dax versus Tory Lanez. And now, like this last week, we had Alex Jones versus Joe Rogan, which is going to be the bulk of this podcast. So set your brain to soar. And then, but literally, I think yesterday or the day before, they announced Slavoj Zizek versus Jordan Peterson.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, who?
Yo, and like, fuck me, Alex Jones and Joe Rogan are friends. Yeah, we know.
We're going to discuss
We know.
that.
We're going to discuss when Joe Rogan or Alex Jones declared war against Joe Rogan.
Oh, now I wish I watched that
Ben
video.
Shapiro versus the left. Yeah. Well, I mean Ben Shapiro versus anyone who isn't a 4chan fucking troll edgelord. People, see, here's the thing. It's like that Milo Yiannopoulos obnoxious and like that dude and like a bunch of people. And even fucking like if you watch the this kind of has to do with where we're going with this near the end. But what the fuck is that? Martin Shkreli? Like that dude, like the internet has bred this generation of twerps who seek validation by negatively affecting other people. It's the troll.
They're effective trolls.
They're effective trolls.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
They don't believe what they say. They just
N-
say it. They might believe some. I don't know.
no, I know what you're saying, and I do
Yeah.
agree that those people exist. They're doing it to get a rise out of you,
They
not
make
actually.
money, and they have
Exactly.
Sort of.
That's the thing is like these people will fucking like they'll say anything to get a reaction out of you just cuz.
yeah.
And like we're going to go full circle on that note because like the
Like how
whole
we're talking shit about Mountain Dew, but we want them to sponsor us. Yeah.
Yo, don't sponsor us. The Mountain Dew, I can't condone the shit you
as long as you don't censor us, we'll take your money.
maybe we'll have our people talk to this is my people. We'll have him talk to your people. Ben Shapiro makes me want to turn Jewish. Is he anti-Semitic?
He's a Jew. He gets called anti-Semitic though.
I don't care. I don't care
I don't
because
think
I can identify that shitlord personality from a fucking mile away, and I just don't care because if you even talk about them, which you guys have done, so congratulations, Ben Shapiro, you win. This is now the world's worst Ben Shapiro podcast. But like,
How many books have you written?
I'm in the middle of my first. Wait, does Ben Shapiro write books?
Probably.
He's written almost 10, maybe over 5.
Are you a Ben Shapiro fan?
No, I just know some stuff.
Did you go down a Ben Shapiro rabbit hole? Yo, how deep does this Ben Shapiro go? Not deep. But here's the thing: is like these people, like you could tell they just hit the air. What? How did I get wrecked? I moved so fast beyond that. I'm like Alex Jones. I just pew 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 pew. Yo, the best soundbite of that entire thing is when he's just like, Joe, I gotta be honest with you. No, I gotta be completely. I gotta completely honest with you. I'm fucking retarded. It's just like he actually said that. How many books have you written? Dude, writing a book doesn't make you write. Fucking 50 Shades of Grey exists, so fuck off.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Ayn Rand is a person. I probably know more about I know more about this shit than you, motherfucker. I have to write a book to not be fucking misregarded as fucking right all the time. I'm all fired up, Joe.
Bro.
I'm all fired up, Joe. You know what? One thing I'll say about hearing Alex Jones talk and get fired up is like you can just hear his like lung disease flaring up when he gets like super fired up.
Yeah.
It's like he's like one of those overbred pug dogs or like fucking like English bulldog that has respiratory issue after respiratory issue after respiratory issue. And he's like, he even talked on that podcast about having health issues due to always being fired up over stupid shit.
Yeah. My favorite part where Joe Rogan's so serious, like, have you ever been?
Have you ever suffered severe head trauma? No, legit. I want to bring that up. I actually have a lot to say about the head trauma comment because it'll make the whole world make more sense if you just understand how head trauma works and how it like gradually affects over and escalates over time. And I will tie it to like Kanye. Cause like,
Kanye, he was in a fucking
yeah. Well, okay, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But I do want to say that Slavoj Zizek versus Jordan Peterson is gonna be like the fucking gnarliest showdown ever. Cause like on the note of shitty edgelord meme fucks that plague the fucking internet, and then some of them become like YouTube sensations like Milo Yiannopoulos and like Ben Shapiro, and there's a bunch of them now who just like people who are like. Like their YouTube thumbnails are always like, and the headlines are like, blah 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 calmly destroys in like all caps, SJW or leftist or whatever, and it's just like, and then the other picture you see on the thumbnail is like a Mary Sue SJW person going like the shaking meme and shit. Yeah, no, fuck yeah. But like the thing is, you can smell these people from a mile away, and if you even talk about them, they're gonna do anything to stay controversial. It's like what Marilyn Manson was in the 90s. You know what I mean? They do anything and say anything to just get you fucking talking about them. It's called peacocking. They're standing out the only way you can now, and that's by being such a fucking edgelord and getting such an emotional reaction out of people that are easy to garner an emotional reaction from, and then boom, you're relevant. You have a YouTube following. So like,
it works.
The thing is like, Jordan Peterson does this and it pisses me the fuck off because there are some things that he says, like his lecture on what it means to have a meaningful conversation with another individual. There is not one fucking thing that you can say is wrong about that lecture. Everything he says about listening to the other side and hearing them out, keeping them talking so you can see yourself in them and they can see themselves in you, and you have a meaningful discussion. And if it's a debate, you both learn something from each other. But he kind of descended down this like, oh, I'm garnering a negative reaction thing, and he just became this like fucking like 4chan dude in his 50s who just like says edgy shit. Like no one fucking cares how you personally designate a male or female. No one fucking cares. All people care about is how you treat people. But for some reason the news keeps like fucking picking at that scab, being like, so I heard that 8 years in this ancient interview, because we need sound bites, that you don't think trans women are considered women. No one fucking cares. Like, dude, who fucking cares? like that is one person's stupid definition, probably based on a prejudice or a fucking cringy knee-jerk reaction, or maybe he's a biological determinist. Who fucking cares? All that matters is how he's willing to treat another person. The end. And he went in that whole like deep spiral where what is that comedian Jim Jeffries?
Yeah.
Have you seen Jim Jeffries versus Jordan Peterson? It's actually fucking brilliant. It's so good because Jim Jeffries gets Jordan Peterson to double back on some shit he said in the past. I was like, oh, but like comedically too.
Yeah.
Where he's like, so you said that you don't think people should be legally forced to call trans women women. And he's like, yeah, I don't think you should the government should compel speech in general, which is something like,
That makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I agree with it. The
Shouldn't be able
government
to
should not compel speech. But then Jim Jeffries made me double think that, made Jordan Peterson then take back what he just fucking said, and has been defending in interviews for years because that's been like the cornerstone of all his hype.
Yeah.
It's just like, so I hear you don't think trans women are women. He's like, no, they were born with penises, the end. And like everyone's like, oh, you're a bad person because da-da. No one fucking cares. It's just like regurgitated fucking hot phrases shit. But Jim Jeffries goes, okay, so let's take that same mentality, because like there was what in the civil rights movement, there was like somewhere in one of the more racist states,
Yeah.
there was a mom and pop's cake shop that denied baking cakes for black people.
Okay.
And he was like, do you think the government because you know we're trying to promote equality and systemically get rid of racism, do you think the government had the right to force that mom and pop shop to bake a cake for those black folks? And he was like, well, yeah. He's like, well, then it's the same fucking thing. We're moving forward.
Are you talking about like when that cake shop refused to bake a cake for the gay people?
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Could have been. Could have been that.
Recently.
Okay, whatever. I'm butchering this example right now,
Yeah.
but Jim Jeffries like fucking surgically destroyed Jordan Peterson's point of view, and it was beautiful. And then he went to the inverse, Jordan Peterson's critics, and was like, I'm going to do what you do to people. Explain to me why feminism is important. And the second Lazy started speaking, he air horned the shit out of her and just blasted her so she couldn't speak. He's like, cool. So now we've all grown here from this segment. And so like I really like half of the shit that Jordan Peterson says, and the other half of it, I'm like, you fucking edgelord. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, a lot of things he says that he gets clowned on in that stupid book with like 10 rules to better your life or something. I don't fucking know. It sounds like common sense, but if you lack like proper parental guidance, some of those things that are common sense to the rest of us aren't. And you shouldn't fucking clown someone because they found wisdom and guidance in a book, regardless of who it came from.
Yeah.
It's not like they're reading Mein Kampf, you know, and like they're not like making their lives better because they read Hitler's fucking memoirs. Like it's kind of a meme now to clown Peterson and his book and people who need it.
Yeah.
When in reality, like as long as you're bettering yourselves, anyone should fucking. Whoa, this is a big show for only blah blah viewers, my dog. Oh, yeah, I can't see that either. The fucking stupid graphic we have in the background is just butchering your comment. Dude, why? Like, I've been trying. Oh, shit. Yo, well, then smash that fucking follow button, my dude.
Oh, 7.
Dude on the left seems confused as fuck.
It's that Baja Blast caffeine head rush.
Dude, you missed the beginning of this. We tried Baja Blast for the first time and it fucking wrecked us. I'm fucking now have stomach ulcers. Yo, you know what? I found out you can die from stomach ulcers.
Well, yeah.
What are you talking about? It just seems like a
It's
little.
a hole in your stomach, isn't it? Isn't that what an ulcer is?
Yeah, but it's just your stomach.
The part of your body that has fucking acid that breaks things down? Yeah.
Yeah, you would imagine it has like, you know, fucking contingency plans in place to like deal with holes.
No.
I mean, people get holes in their lungs from smoking cigarettes and they live 50 years after that until it becomes
Your lungs
cancerous.
aren't full of acid that eat anything.
Fair. So you're Jim Jeffries. I'm Jordan Peterson. I'm fucking wrong. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, this is my brother and this is my good buddy Matt. We're music dudes and we make music for a living, and we're brother dudes. He's slowly getting into art and shit. Your bro is right. About which part?
Everything.
Baja Blast sucking?
Everything.
And also there's a hole in your stomach.
Everything.
So the acid gets into the stomach wall. Yeah.
Yeah, there's only like a thin line of mucus that stops the acid from eating the rest of your body.
Welcome to the Doapness, the world's worst biology podcast. we don't have
We're not
any form of
doctors, but-
we're not doctors, but we're gonna talk like
I read it on Wikipedia. So.
Yo, speaking of which, speaking of doctors, because this is a good segue. The bulk of our shit is gonna be about that Joe Rogan versus Alex Jones thing that just went down. I can't. Oh my god. I gotta get a couple things out of the way. One, I have fucking passionately hated Alex Jones for a very long period of time. I've been passionately indifferent about Joe Rogan up until recently, and then listening to his podcast, I'm like, I like the way he's able to have conversations even with people he disagrees with. I think that's like that's a dead art. Yeah. A lot of people can learn how to have meaningful conversations even when like you think the other person's lying, or because there's a lot of people on this show where it's like that person's bullshitting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are wrong. There are a lot of people who just don't make any sense, and you're like, your conversational skills suck. But Joe Rogan is still able to keep the show going and somehow able to scrounge up a meaningful conversation out of some of these people that are like strung out and high as fuck or lying, or deceptive and trying to hide a true agenda.
Because he's genuinely curious, and he asks them like simple questions that actually have, you know, complex answers. So. It's
true. And like I feel like that skill of being able to pry meaning out of any exchange with any other human being is a dead fucking art. And because of that, because we've oversimplified everything into clickbait and sound bites that oversimplify entire human beings and complex motivations, that like that's why we have such divisive politics these days. Yeah. People aren't fucking willing to hear out the other side, because they think that by entertaining any conversation with people you disagree with, you're giving them power. When in reality, it should be like, you should hear your opposition.
Yeah, let them destroy themselves.
Yo, I am a very, very anti-prejudiced person. I hate homophobia, racism, sexism, ageism, ableism. I hate these things. But as someone who wants to abolish these things, I want to hear the entire context provided and thorough explanation of the best arguments for those things. Yeah. That is only going to make me better at identifying what doesn't work about them, and then it provides me an opportunity to provide better ideas and why my ideas are better. That's the way the world should work. You shouldn't just silence your opposition and hopefully your right position, which is unsubstantiated and hasn't been explained or given any context, just like becomes popular. That's not how shit works. And yes, I hate everything too. Anyhow, your bro is right. Let me guest for the science episode. Why? Are you a scientist, Leah? Dude, don't bring yourself down. You are doctors. I with you agree with it. Joe Runt Elon. Don't know what the fuck that means. Jordan Peterson's daughter is pretty hot. Just throwing it out there. Dope. I hate everything. That is solid activism advice. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you for listening. Now donate. Give me all your money.
Hit up Mountain Dew for us.
Yeah. Thank you, Mountain Dew, for sponsoring us. I appreciate the
drinking it.
I need to feed my ulcers. If you're just joining us, smash that follow button if you can. No substantial comments in the chat. Well, you can change that, Skowski. You can provide substantial comments. Yeah. That's on you. You can't expect others to do the legwork for you. There's some more activism advice for you. I'm just fucking with you. I appreciate you just sitting here. I have 2 degrees, BSc in biomedical science, MSc in molecular science. Are you fucking kidding me? I just got hard.
Whoa.
I'll play. What made you tip on Rogan? Best guest. No. What made me... So, I am so fucking happy. This is going to sound like, you know when like magicians and street performers are like, do I know you, sir? And the other person's like, no, I do not. And then they perform the shit they rehearsed. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know Skrowski, but he just segued into my point, which is going back to doctors and not giving doctoral advice and shit. I passionately hated Alex Jones for a very long time. Was really indifferent about Joe Rogan because he's like admittedly an ape and whatever. And I used to really overvalue hyper-intellectual people and give not enough credit to the average person with a curious mind. I liked people who had like actual degrees, and I read science texts and like fucking nonfiction, like Sapolsky and like Gabor Mate and shit. Like I'm really into science shit, to bring this thing whole circle with Leah and what you're saying, and also us being doctors. I also fucking hated Dr. Phil because I felt like him profiting as much as he did with his show off of basically creating tourism for other people's problems. It like upset me on like a fucking deeply like philosophical level.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm gonna say. I have doubled back on all of that, and here's why. And I'm gonna fucking pause this for a sec just so I can get deep. I have recently started losing a bunch of weight and going on a lot of fucking walks and exercise and shit. And music kind of burns you out when you're going on a 5-hour walk. You can't listen to 5 hours of fucking music. It's like no matter how much music you listen to, that's a lot and it burns you out. So I started listening to podcasts and shit. And I started with the Alex Jones and Joe Rogan thing, the first one. And I'm like, I fucking hate Alex Jones so much. I can't do this. Turned it off. Moved on to the next one. And then some people were like, hey, have you seen this thing about Joe Rogan and such and such? I'm like, I'll give it a whirl. And even though it was a guest that I didn't give a fuck about or actually actively wanted to act in opposition to and considered myself like a direct contradiction of, the caffeine in this is working wonders, by the way. I listened to Dr. Phil. I listened to Mike Tyson, and I fucking hated Mike Tyson too because of the shit he did to certain people and like things he's been convicted of. Hearing people talk like Alex Jones and Joe Rogan, Dr. Phil, Mike Tyson, shows me that the entire image I had painted of them in my head was delivered by, I guess, like an oversimplified, reductive version, like basically a symbol of a person and something they stand for because of something they did or they've been convicted or accused of whatever. And I over-adopted that. I never really thought I had that bias. I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. But like some of these atrocities, I was like deeply philosophically against. The Dr. Phil profiting off of people's anguish for his fucking giant fucking massive show. Mike Tyson and his abusive things. Alex Jones and his propagating of conspiracies and like false information, etc. Hearing these people talk, even though I still think they're wrong for a lot of things, I started seeing new angles and new things in new lights because I was entertaining their conversation. And I don't agree with 100% of everything they've ever done, but at least now I deeply feel that these people who are untouchable celebrities and like the epitome of certain evils, I now, even though they're fucking multimillionaires or billionaires or whatever the fuck and wildly celebrity and popular, I do just see them as human beings with faults. And I know that sounds really centristic and like dismissive of bad shit people have done, but like listening to Dr. Phil, who I hated because I'll turn this back on. But I hated Dr. Phil for the longest time because the dude has made a wild killing, profit-based killing, monetarily, I mean. No, he's not literally killing people. Off of people's... clickbait avoided. Off of people's anguish. Oh, yeah, you're a dysfunctional addict. Come on my show and shuck and jive. I'll throw some quarters at you. I make some dollars. And it upset me until I heard him on the Joe Rogan podcast talk about that the main benefit of this show isn't anything to do with the people he's having on the show, but the millions of people who watch the show and go, holy fuck, I see my problems in that guest. And like, it was really funny. The Danielle Bregoli thing, the Kashmir side girl.
Oh, yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Like, that dude created a career for a person based off of stupidity.
Yeah.
And he was saying really nice things. He's like, well, I don't agree with a damn thing she's ever done or said, but like, I hope she's happy and is like making success for herself right now.
He didn't really create the career. The internet created the career. He just opened the gate and like he gave her the platform to like, or he like showed her to the world. And then
that's fair.
The world morphed her into what she is
But
now.
hearing him talk about how that happened was like, oh, this is actually a deeply empathetic dude. Yeah. This isn't just some like corporate shill with a fucking college,
bad
like
Barbie,
an internet. Bad baby. Bad baby.
Baby? Oh, I thought it was Barbie.
No, it's Bad Baby.
Bad Baby. Whatever.
So anyhow, but so when he discussed how he actually handled that shit before the internet spiraled it out of control, I was like, that is fucking solid. Okay. Yeah. So check this out. The mom was like, my teen's out of control, blah, 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 blah. Before she ever blew up, because that whole Kashmir side, how about that thing, happened the second time that she was on. Or third or whatever. They were on multiple times. But all you need to know is that the first time, things went well. Like that girl came on, they put her in like
she's playing in band tonight? No fucking way.
Fuck off. Yo, no way. Let's go. Podcast done. Let's get her on the show. We're canceling. Yo, let's go. So check this out. This is something that really made me give a fuck about Dr. Phil for the first time when he said this on the Joe Rogan podcast, which was the first time the mom and the daughter and the grandma came out or whatever. She got in their faces. Maybe that's where that soundbite that got her famous came from, whatever. But then they put her in like a boot camp for GG, have fun, BB. Bye. Yo, thanks for coming out. We're Bad Baby. So the first time they came out or whatever, he's like, yeah, you could tell they were like kind of like doing that kind of like what we were talking about earlier, the fucking edgelord shit, like garnering a reaction, like, oh, they're parading around their bad problems. They do have them, but they're like showboating them. And then he sent her off to like a boot camp thing, and she made like a fucking 180. Like she was like doing super well. She was like participating in group things, behaving. She was being a leader, like in a leadership role for other young girls and stuff. Everything was going fucking amazing. Goes home. Something happened where the mom sought out internet trolls who were bad-mouthing her on the Dr. Phil show and like called them up and like was threatening them and shit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Shit went bad. Daughter became shitty again. They came back on the Dr. Phil show. Check this out. Pause. So Dr. Phil flies them out and they think they're about to be on TV. And this was, I don't know if this was ever publicized or what, but this is what Dr. Phil said. He's like, he flew them out and he's like, I want to help you. And so mom and daughter are like, fuck yeah, we're about to be on TV again or whatever, gearing up for it, getting in character. And then he brings them out and there's no audience and no cameras. And they're like, where is everybody? He's like, doesn't matter. I'm here to help you. And they go, oh, well, then we don't care. And they bounced. Isn't that the most like indicative of what kind of ailments we have with certain personality types these days? Like, is that not the most fucked up shit ever? It's like, oh yeah, we need help. Okay, I'm here to help you. But there's no cameras, no audience. It's like, okay, never mind then. Isn't that fucked? But here's the true merit of Dr. Phil that I didn't even think about until it came out of his fucking mouth. Was he said that like the people he has on the show have very little to do with the amount of efficacy as an agent of change that he has. It's the viewers who write it. He says he gets hundreds of thousands, if not millions of letters every year. You gotta understand the Dr. Phil show has a massive outreach. Huge. International too. And they get countless letters. Like he's Dr. Phil, Joe's like, oh, who are the best examples of the best work you've done? And he's like, honestly, the failures. The people that I can't change that are on the show, because I get hundreds of thousands of letters every year of people saying like, I know you didn't reach through that person, but the excuses they made, I heard myself saying to other people, I'm never doing that again. Thank you, Dr. Phil. I made a 180 in my life because of your show. And I'm like, damn.
So people are bettering themselves by watching others
fail.
Bottom.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
All right.
You know, because like, you know, because like, remember when you and I would act like shit kids, and mom, because we're brothers, if you don't know that.
No, I was an angel.
And mom would be like, I should film you guys, and then you'd see how bad you truly were. That is a real tactic of exposing someone their own shittiness. I mean, like, see your shitty behavior from the outside, because you can't really do that too much from the inside.
I would love to hear the left guy, his thoughts on the realness of Goose Wayne.
What the fuck is Goose Wayne?
I don't know.
Yo, you're gonna have to provide some context.
I believe he. I don't know if he actually went on Dr. Phil. He might have been a Dr. Phil guest.
Get closer to the microphone.
He was a guy who calls himself Goose Wayne. And
how do you know about this? How does this person know that you know about this?
Who is that? Do you know who that is?
Is that your fiance?
No, I have no idea who that is.
How the fuck do you know this?
Fiance now.
It's someone from your Facebook, I bet you. Hey, tell us about Goose Wayne.
He's he was on Dr. Phil. Okay, so that's right. He thinks he's Batman.
Why is it Goose and not Bruce?
I think that might be his name. I don't know.
Okay.
Are you fucking kidding me? His name's Goose Wayne? Nah, that's not real.
I don't know.
Goose is a pretty good nickname.
Well,
man.
it might be
it's what my girlfriend calls me when I'm acting funny.
But
you fucking goose.
He like sleeps in the mask and stuff like that. And,
sleeps? Like who's he fucking convincing? The Sandman?
I don't know.
His arch nemesis, the Sand? That's Spider-Man's arch nemesis.
Spider-Man. Oh, yeah. But I don't know. I never really thought about Goose Wayne a whole lot. I just figured he was a crazy guy. I have no idea.
Like batshit? No pun intended. No pun. No, I didn't mean that.
Sorry.
Oh no.
No, that works. That works. Do we have the womp womp? Do we have the womp womp womp? Do it. There we go. Probably just went on for more publicity. Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the shitty thing is like people have been doing this for a long time. Like you guys remember the Jerry Springer show? people have been doing this since the fucking early 90s. People would pretend they're gay or pretend they're trans or pretend they're cheating just to go fuck around, get paid a couple $100.
Yeah.
There's an experimental hardcore band called Retox. Yeah, Retox. Do you know The Locust? They were like a experimental grind band. They were really cool. They all wore like matching outfits and concealed their identities and shit. Anyhow, so one of the guys from all these bands, his name's Justin Peterson. He has a record label called 31G. I think it's out of Sacramento, somewhere in California. But it's really DIY punk rock shit. Good shit. All of his music is amazing. Really hyper aggressive, conscious lyrics, really creative, fun stuff. In the early 2000s, he went on to the Jerry Springer show with his homies and just pretended, like, as a joke to like have like a love triangle. And like it was the worst experience ever. Like, yeah, he trolled the shit out of the Jerry Springer show. But then like Steve, the bodyguard guy that you remember, the big bald dude, beat the fuck out of him, and like he was like threatening him with a lawsuit and shit. And then the producers made Steve go up and apologize like a kid who did something wrong. He's like, I'm really sorry for hitting you. I shouldn't have done that. But he beat him up because he looked gay.
Yeah.
Like it was like the most fucked up thing ever. Look into that. Justin Peterson.
What's a grind band? It's a band that's formed on Grindr.
Yeah. Yo, you want to start a grind band? You know what? That's funny. The type of music that you would imagine that makes is actually a thing called porno grind. It's a real thing. Did you ever get into the weird shit?
No, I was more into noise, grindcore, as you would call it.
Yeah.
Actually, I was in.
Is that a grind band right there? You got to stand up a little. What does that say?
no.
Sexy?
Dyslexic.
Dyslexic. Oh, that's your old band.
That's my old band from Ontario.
Grind band? Hey, shout out Dyslexic, a band that hasn't existed in 10 years.
They're still doing shit.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
still crazy.
Yeah, fucking man. Yeah. I mean, just beat that dead horse.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
They're not the same without me as the bass player.
I mean, no one is, man. If you ever have to take a day off this show, there's gonna be so much more conversation. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing. So, my whole point of that whole spiel, and we'll get into your comments a little bit here. I know you guys have been chatting like crazy. Is that I really didn't like Dr. Phil, and then I heard Dr. Phil speak for a couple hours, and I'm like, you know what? Even though I don't agree with 100% of the things he does or chooses to do,
Yeah.
he's a human being.
Oh
Capable,
my God.
right? Like, yeah. But the thing is, you got this disconnect when they're celebrities.
Definitely.
That's why you fucking like treat them
Yeah.
just as these things that dance and sing for your entertainment. Hang on. So, same thing with Mike Tyson. I'm like, that dude's a fucking animal. But then when he starts talking about how he was an orphan and had no childhood, and when he was 13, he was basically adopted by a fight trainer who is basically programming him to be a killer. He was basically vetted since he was a fucking child. He's never actually felt love. Like, that sounds like the most bullshit, like, post-hoc explanation for being like a psychopath, but like, it's true. Dude had no fucking childhood.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, this piece of shit, this arrogant fucking asshole who has said some of the worst things I've ever heard a human being say is the victim of circumstance and is a human being. But you don't think about that shit
Oh, definitely.
until you hear people speak. And when you don't get a chance to interrupt them and be like, well, what about that thing you did? And they just keep going and reveal more about themselves, you learn more and more and more and more that free will is pretty much out the fucking window. And everyone is a product of their environment.
Yeah.
And people that I really fucking hated, I now hate super less.
Yeah.
Because I'm listening to their point of view, and even though I think it's wrong still, I can at least see kind of the path on how they got there, and I'm like, oh, well, now I just pity you.
Yeah.
And that brings us to today's bulk, the meat and potatoes of today's episode.
And Meep, I think you're thinking of Holyfield, but I'm not sure. The guy Tyson was programmed to beat up fucking what's his name?
Vander Holyfield?
I think it was Vander Holyfield. I can't.
I don't know that much about it. We should have Gorgeous Jordy.
Larry Holmes. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I got you. Yes. So, Alex Jones, I have passionately fucking hated for like, I don't know, 10 years now.
Yeah.
I hate that fucking dude. Hated. Up until this week, I'm taking hate down to I pity him. I don't like, it's not, and not even like a condescending pity, but like when it got into the part about head trauma, I felt so bad.
That's when you felt bad about Alex Jones?
Yeah. Because like when you think about it,
not the way.
Okay,
that-
let's go from the top and provide some context. Hello, we're the Doapness. If you're joining us, please join the chat. I know we've been neglecting it. We should probably catch up on the chat up until this point before we launch into the next thing. But we tried Mountain Dew Baja Blast for the first time.
Got sun coming in.
It's okay. It's okay. Just let it happen. Let the glare happen. When your future's that bright, you always need sunglasses. Tastes like shit, but the caffeine works, and probably the sugar. I'm gonna crash soon. Here we go. I'm gonna. Matt, can you bring up the chat on the side so I can scroll up and see everything I've missed and catch up with you lovely viewers? If you're just joining us, please smash the follow and subscribe button.
We all watched the Alex Jones thing. That's what we're going to get into.
Yeah,
It was 5 hours, really.
Yeah, oh, dude, it was a fucking commitment, and I couldn't do it because like this is Alex Jones' second time on the Joe Rogan podcast. The first time, he and I, a mutual friend who was obsessed with riding the dick of Alex Jones, forced me to watch it, and I got physically sick. That dude is so disconnected from how he's perceived and also how to have a proper flowing conversation, how to properly provide context, how to... You struggling to find the chat?
Oh, thanks.
Hey, Scrousey, thank you. Thank you so much. My health bar just went down because you did an action. And if you're just tuning in, any action you take, such as a follow or donating some dollars, will actually reduce my health lower and lower until I fucking die, which I'm really interested to see because please remove me from this mortal coil. He can't find the chat, so...
How to have a conversation. Just yell. We'll get into that.
How the fuck did you manage to hide? Oh, wait.
Ah.
So, edgy, bro. We don't want that. I won't do any more action. No, fuck you. I want to fucking die.
Kill him.
Yo, don't. They actually, we talked about this because someone, our dog from our childhood is on the verge of death. She's going to be put down very soon. She's not around, which got our mom talking about assisted suicide and stuff and how it's beautiful. And I was on the fence about it for a long time. But now it's like, it's actually legal where we live. If you're on the way out and you have multiple physicians be like, this person's dying, they are suffering. If they want to leave, we can arrange that to happen. And they have like these death parties and shit where they like, you get all your family and loved ones around, and then you're euthanized in front of them. But it's like a celebration rather than this depressing, oh, fuck, you can go at any moment.
I don't think it'd do it right in front of you, but yeah.
Like literally like, hey, thanks for coming. Just like, hey, join the barbecue. Have some lasagna. Like, no, it's not that violent and chaotic or whatever. Oh, fuck. The chat doesn't work when it's... Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Apparently, we're new at this shit.
Death party.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Death party. Fuck yeah. Dude, that's sick. What? We need more... We need soundboard shit that isn't all hip-hop.
I know, I'm just...
Interesting. Okay. You two, be entertaining while I go pee.
Oh my god.
Dude,
Oh, no.
okay, I'm gonna go after you then. I'm gonna go after you then.
Alright, rock, paper, scissors. Who goes pee first? Dead air. Okay, well, we'll be talking about Alex Jones.
Skrowski, how did you know that I was a Batman fan?
You gotta also remember there's like a 10-second delay from
Right.
their stuff,
Right.
from their chat to us. So. But yeah, how far on the Alex Jones podcast did you get?
I got two
and a
2
half,
hours in. Yeah, I was working half the time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, now that he's gone, what
Looked
do
in my
you
eyes.
guys want to talk about? I looked in your eyes, man. Show us.
That's
your-
insane.
Your drinks. Ah. Here you go. I know it says dicks. I refuse. Oh, I said the secret word, and he's back.
Someone said dicks. Yo, we talking about dicks over here? Okay, go pee.
Okay.
You know that feeling when you met the one? That's how I felt when I laid my eyes on you.
The one, that's how I felt when I laid my eyes on you, my dog. Aw. Yeah, it's gotta be. I love how like the mystery is just picking him apart. He's like, who the fuck is this person? But yeah, before we get into the Alex Jones and Joe Rogan thing, I just want to say like the Zizek versus Peterson thing. I feel like a lot of people are gonna over idealize the event and be like, yeah, this is, for those who don't know, it's Marxism versus capitalism is the point of the debate or whatever. And a lot of people are like, I think people are already choosing their sides and being like, I push for this person. And every single one of you should shut the fuck up and go listen to some ideas and not try to root for one side to win. And like, even though Peterson and Zizek themselves, like their exchange has been a little bit cocky and like kind of Leprechaun versus Mayweather type thing.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Baja Blast, for giving me gas. The whole point of a debate shouldn't be that one destroys the other. It should be that both sides present their best ideas. You compare them, and then you learn more about the other side. And then you're either more rooted in your own, or you've learned more and you kind of sway to the other side. The whole point isn't to, as YouTube thumbnails would have you believe, destroy the other side. The whole point of these things is to have an intellectual keyword discussion, other keyword, not this like so-and-so completely wrecks so-and-so. Even if that happens, maybe one idea is fucking way better than the other and is articulated as such. Maybe one person is way better at articulating the idea than the other. Is Matt going outside for a fucking smoke?
Yes, he is.
Some host. Can't even go fucking. It's been 20 minutes. Guy on the right, what do you think?
What do you think will Trump win, and how sure or unsure are you?
I don't know. I basically assume you're just asking, do I think Trump's gonna win? Am I the guy on the right? By the way, I can't see if what they're seeing is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, actually, I don't know either, but I'll assume I'm the guy on the right. I think you're a guy in the middle.
Oh, I'm guy in the middle.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Do I think Trump will win? It's hard to say. I mean, fucking Bush won a couple times.
People fear
Bernie
change.
Sanders is coming back, and he might get that like
Reactionary swing the other way.
Reactionary like fucking So it might be a close one. I don't really care about American politics that much either. So
yeah, you just asked the least passionate person about that shit at the table what he thinks about all hail Trump. Speaking of edgelords. Yo, look at the glare coming through right now, just fucking up our green screen.
I'll fix that.
Okay, it looks like I'm by myself and until these dudes come back and we get into the main shit. I will say this. I don't know if Trump's going to win or not win. I have multiple heads about it. I think he has a chance at winning for multiple reasons. One, he got in already. And even though it wasn't majority vote, he played the Electoral College, which is such a fucking scummy way to get in. Like, you can argue that it was smart, but it was exploitative. You can say that. It was definitely not, more people voted, he got in, the end. It was like, no, he played an angle that counts as more votes, even though the majority of individuals voted the other way, etc. Whatever. He could pull some shit like that again. And then I have two minds about it otherwise. One, people hate change. So even though things really fucked up right now, even people on his side are like, he's fucked up. People against him are like, things are worse than ever. That's arguable. I do think he's the dumbest piece of shit with the least amount of government experience ever to hold office. So there's that. The fact that I have my own feelings about him, but that aside, I feel like people in general fear change so much that they might worry what can get worse and vote him in again just to give him a chance to redeem himself. Maybe get Mexico to pay for that wall. Or we're going to see like a fucking super passionate slingshot back the other way. And someone like Sanders stands a chance, even though a bunch of you nerds who are wrong are going to be like, oh, but he's a socialist and not a blah, blah, blah. Democratic socialism isn't nationalist socialism. So we can just get that out of there. But all this shit, testimony from his lawyer, is it enough to take him down? That's what I wanted to know. Oh, I want to know what the mindless guy thinks. So I asked a guy on the... I don't think James pays that much attention to Trump politics. He He's a casual Reddit user who will get the notification from Reddit on the most hot topic of the day. Let me segue back into Joe Rogan. Did you see Andrew Yang? I didn't. No, but it did come up with my suggested, and I am going to. Presidential candidate? I don't know. I'm having a conversation with a person not on a microphone and a person chatting, so this is interesting. But I didn't, but I should. But just to sum up the Zizek versus Peterson thing, I feel like everyone should disassociate from it and go listen to two ideas get debated and discussed, and then have meaningful discussions about them afterwards, rather than aha, I told you my side was right, which I feel is going to happen the most. I will check it out. I think it's one of the best podcasts. Yes, he is a candidate and a really good one. Interesting. I'll check that out then.
Yeah, I watched that one. He had some pretty decent strategies, I guess.
Yeah?
I mean, just like the main one, like that, like Bernie and him talk about is like the fucking healthcare. Like, get on it, America. You guys spend so much fucking money on it already. Like,
yeah, putting a Band-Aid on it is worse economically and ethically, and not a cure to the problem at all. It sucks. We're from Canada, so like we have universal healthcare. So see, guy on the right is in the know. There you go, man.
I'm sort of in though.
He pretends.
Like, Trump shit. I really don't give a fuck anymore.
It'll stress you out.
I mean, I think that's part of his strategy is to just
wear you
so
down.
Obnoxious.
Wear you down.
And it's like I just don't care. I'm Canadian. Like I don't care. There's enough shit happening with Trudeau right now. Like.
I think I know your guys better than you know them, dude. Probably, you fucking creepy stalker. I bet you're someone
Are you
from
gonna be
like.
our next guest?
Yeah, dude. You want to be our next guest? I have no idea where you're from, but you definitely know enough about him and enough about him that even they don't know about themselves. He's like, I don't know that. And yes, I do. I don't know that. You know his passions about Batman. Is he like? Whatever.
That's why I went outside. I wanted to see if I knew this guy, but I couldn't find
You
out.
fucker! Don't go do some sleuthing.
Fuck.
We're on the clock.
You're still in the sunlight. I'm sorry.
Who fucking cares? Whatever. You're gonna have to deal with some shitty optical glare. Who cares? Moving on. Joe Rogan versus Alex Jones. So to bring you up to speed, we're talking about the shit. Hi, if you're joining us for the first time, join the chat so we can talk with you. We want to discuss ideas, but we will go on tangents where we ignore you for moments at a time. And also smash that follow button and you can kill me by negating my health on this bar. Lefty got scared. Rape look again. Oof. Oof. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what's coming.
It's a cigarette.
So to provide some context, Alex Jones, who I fucking have hated for a long, passionately hated for a very long period of time, appeared on the Joe Rogan podcast like a year, maybe a year and a half ago or whatever.
It was
bad.
amazing.
It was bad.
Amazing.
It was bad.
So good.
It was fucking bad.
It was so good.
It was too much, man.
Oh, it was so good.
Okay, because here's the thing. Okay, we'll get into that. But essentially, the timeline is Joe Rogan and Alex Jones. They're homies. They've been homies since the late 90s because Alex Jones used to be super leftist active. I'd say contrarian active. Like, he was super politically active. He was going after corrupt people in government, left, right, and center, blah, blah, blah. And then he started slowly degrading and going down a conspiracy hole. And then he just fucking lost it. And he makes no sense when he speaks now, most of the time. Until you have someone like Joe Rogan mediating this conversation. You're like, oh, you can pull some ideas out of this act after all. It was the weirdest fucking thing ever. I fucking hate the dude. He entertains objectively stupid and objectively false contrarian bullshit all the time. And he's been sued for it for like millions of dollars. Yeah. And like, whatever. We'll get into that. He went on Joe Rogan podcast, made no fucking sense. I could not digest that podcast. It sucked. Didn't even finish it. Moved on. For months and months and months, Joe Rogan received flack because people were like, why the fuck would you entertain that? And Joe Rogan's whole thing is just having conversations, even with people he disagrees with, etc., which is an admirable trait. It's commendable.
Yep.
Like, I commend him for it. I wish I had more patience to do it. Maybe when I'm 51 like Joe Rogan, I can. Not now. But people roasted him a lot. Then Joe Rogan started talking with future guests on his show about the experience he had with them. And Alex Jones outright denied some shit that he did do. It's on camera, blah, blah, blah. It got spicy. And then 2 weeks ago, the day after episode 3 on our podcast, Alex Jones declares war against his buddy Joe Rogan and says some really colorful shit about taking him down and wrecking him, etc. and he's like, I want war, blah, 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 blah. And everyone's like, oh, fuck yeah. Alex Jones versus Joe Rogan. But everyone who watches Joe Rogan knows that Joe Rogan's way too zen to ever fucking go to war with him. So instead, they have a conversation on the phone, bury the hatchet, and they agree to talk about everything on the air. Next episode. Then 2-3 days ago, out comes a 5-hour episode of the Joe Rogan podcast where Alex Jones is given a chance to unfuck himself.
Yeah.
And
explain himself too.
And he did an okay job.
Yeah.
So,
but like that's the thing with like Alex Jones, like he fucking just rants and like with Joe Rogan being there to like calm him
mediate
down and like actually take control of his thoughts, like organize them a bit better for
so
Alex Jones. Like it makes him like so much better.
Let's do a thought experiment right now, okay?
Yeah.
Let's pretend objectively, and this is a hypothetical, of course, that Alex Jones is 100% correct about every idea he has. He's super right. He knows the true meaning of the universe, the lies we've been told, blah, blah, blah. He knows, okay? Let's pretend that in this super fictitious world, he's 100% accurate. This is things he says, that elves control aliens, control us, and the government wants their power, etc., whatever. Let's say...
Okay,
hang on. No. Fucking
go.
Don't fucking interrupt me. So let me articulate this thought. Let's assume that Alex Jones is right.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter because Alex Jones' efficacy as a communicator is so fucking poor that he is unable, even if he had objective evidence, he is such a poor communicator, and he's all about these high impact phrases and hand movements and gestures that are indicative of anyone with a high level of charisma, and it's a cult leader bullshit.
Yeah.
That he will never, even if he was in this fictitious world fully right, be able to convey his thoughts without someone like Joe Rogan picking out the points he's actually trying to make. Because dude would be like, I'll tell you all about Joe. I'll tell you all about it. Okay, so we have the evil Illuminati that suck the blood out of the penises of children, and then they go on to fucking communicate through DMT exercises with the extra dimensional beings that are actually gray aliens, which are bionic cyborgs controlled psychokinetically by the elves that actually run the entire world, and it's all demonized. And you're just like, what?
Yeah, exactly. And like that, like if Joe Rogan was always on InfoWars with Alex Jones, InfoWars would probably be like an amazing top tier show. But because Joe's not there to fucking calm Alex Jones down, and like it might be like really fucking good, but like fucking Alex Jones goes off with like they, and like at least Joe Rogan goes, who the fuck's they?
Yeah, dude, that was.
And like without that, it's like
you never would have got it.
Oh, you'll never get it.
Exactly.
You'll just be like, oh, they, like fuck them.
Yeah, or when he's like, yeah, it's Dale Gribble shit. Careful, they might be around. We are they. Ah! But yeah. Dude, you're fucking mad up so hard right now in the chat. Dude, you're just
I'm trying to pay attention, but this guy's speaking right to me.
Got him!
Okay, so but that's the thing. So
like the frogs being gay is a great example, okay? Like Alex Jones just goes straight to, oh, they're putting chemicals in the water and the frogs are turning gay, blah blah. It's like, okay, well if you actually look it up, he's sort of right.
Sort of, but here's the thing. Here's the thing is he's not
frogs into males.
Okay, so this is what I learned from the Joe Rogan podcast. Alex Jones is a deeply broken person, but he's not stupid. He actually knows, like for example, when he's like, Joe, why do you think the moon's red at the horizon? Yep. Like, I'm like an astronomy. I'm a bit of a Scorpio.
Stupid.
Astronomy buff. Like, I fucking love that shit. Like, I eat it up and I can memorize stupid factoids and stuff. But like, when Alex Jones is like, why do you think international flights only fly at night? And he's like, oh, red eye. And he's like, no, it's because of the amount of radiation you're exposed to and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
That makes a lot
but
of
also
sense.
the refraction of Earth's atmosphere acting as a lens for the sun and the moon. When he's like, why do you think the moon is yellow and red when it's close to the horizon, but as it goes up, it's white and then blah? It's because you're seeing more horizon 1,000 kilometers that way.
Yeah.
But when it's above you, it's only like 20 kilometers of atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
So when you're looking at through 1,000 kilometers, you're getting all that dust and smoke and pollution and shit. And when he's like, in 35,000 feet of air. If you compressed it all, you get 10 feet of water and 6 inches of stone with how much dust there is. I was like, oh, that's a cool factoid.
Took him a while to actually get that point across.
That's the thing, is like he knows something like that actually like, oh, cool, people should hear this. He knows it. But his ability to articulate fucking anything sucks.
No.
In addition to the fact that he's got super fucking wrong ideas on top of his right ideas.
Yeah. Like, he reminds me of like a kid that's just so excited about the information he knows that he just like skips so many like things. And he's like, yeah, like 10 meters of dirt and water. Like what?
I'll tell you what it is, Joe. I got respiratory issues and heart problems. I got angina because of how fired up I get about the Illuminati. Here's the thing: here's why context matters. Is like if you were just like, okay, he's just a dude, and like some guy on the street that gets really fired up over this shit, like. Past my brother's head on the wall, there's a sign that says elect Blamey for mayor. That's some like eccentric old fucking crazy person in this town made, and he's a crazy batshit person. If Alex Jones was just a person like that guy, no one would fucking care. Yeah, he's got the right to raise children with these weird beliefs. He's got the right to vote, to back weird beliefs. And he's got the right to open businesses and make money and perpetuate more beliefs, whatever. He has the right to free speech. But the thing is, Alex Jones has so many followers.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the scary part, is that like these wrong ideas have fuel.
Yeah, but he even admits like he doesn't
believe the shit his fans
Well,
believe.
he doesn't really realize how much reach his shit has, and he's like,
yes, he does. You look at his fucking profits from his stores.
yeah, but I mean, when you're like just ranting about shit, you're not thinking about like all the fucking crazy fucking people that you're like, actually affecting.
The guy on the right avoids the sunglasses to avoid radon in the chat. He's actually listening to a Bieber record.
Yeah.
He's actually not even. This is just coincidence that the topic we're talking about lines up. He's having his own conversation in his head right now, and
I put on the sunglasses. I figure, hey, Snoop Dogg puts on sunglasses during the podcast.
I mean, when your future's this bright, you gotta wear sunglasses all the time.
I don't really. I think.
Where's my
Matt should have the
soundboard on that?
sunglasses.
I can give you sunglasses if you want.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna wear them today too, but that would have been embarrassing. That'd be like the podcast version of wearing the same dress
I
out
also
to the
figure
same gala.
We're talking about Alex Jones.
You gotta be smashing that button a lot more, dude.
We
So
haven't really gotten into it, but
it's true. So I gotta say this is that like because the first podcast was such a crash and burn of Alex Jones just freaking out about Illuminati bullshit and aliens and interdimensional beings and all this shit that you can't fucking back up. And he says things like, I got the proof.
yeah.
And it's like, well, then present it. You know what I mean? Like, as the old saying goes, outstanding claims require outstanding evidence. Like, you need insane amounts of proof. And you can't just say you have the proof or you can't divulge the proof. You have to. If you're going to tell me that elves are controlling aliens, which are controlling grays.
He says he doesn't believe that, but continue. During the podcast, he goes, I don't actually believe this. This is just what I've been told.
No, that was on the first episode. The second episode.
That was on the...
On the second episode, he's like, I know the truth.
He doesn't. No, he fucking says. He goes, I don't actually believe this, but like at least 100 people have told me this. This is what I've been told. He says that. He fucking says that.
I heard the opposite. That he's like, I've interviewed 100 people, and they all say the same thing, and this is what I've come to know. That doesn't say I don't believe it. This is I got this from other people, but I'm backing it.
I don't actually like.
Oh, I don't believe this. I'm just gonna make this the fucking cornerstone of everything I preach.
I don't know.
Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
That he doesn't believe it, but it's the cornerstone of everything he talks about. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, because it's what it's what he talks about is fucking like the interviews with like high level up military guys and shit like that. If those people that claim to like know more than you, like
regardless, whether Alex Jones agrees with the elves controlling aliens thing or doesn't and is only talking about it, the main thing you need to talk, the main thing that matters to this conversation and this whole thing about him is that those are the ideas he's pushing forward. Whether it's his own beliefs or the government, they's beliefs, and that's another thing. Is the dude is really reductive when he comes to pushing blame, and that is usually the sign of someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
They are in charge. The government? Well, what part of the fucking government? There's so many arms of the government. Do you mean firemen and policemen?
Nope.
Do you mean the NSA? Do you mean the CIA? Do you
And
mean the
then he gets
FBI?
into
Do you
it,
mean
though.
like fucking?
Yeah, but he gets into it.
No, he fucking
Yeah,
doesn't.
He says there's 2 shadow governments, the CIA and NASA.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
No, but there's the answer to your question of like who you talk about. He explains.
But when he says they, he doesn't explain which side. He just says they, and then Joe Rogan has to be like, "All right, stop, hit the brakes."
the NASA,
When you say
and
no,
the
but the
CIA
thing is,
fucking
it's a
higher
cop out.
levels.
I'm telling you, it's
it
like
might be a cop out. It
it
might not
totally is.
be.
He doesn't have the answers he's claiming to have. Is what I'm saying. Dude, you can see him like you notice this? He does the same thing Kanye does. You ask him a question and he goes, "Watch, ask me anything right now. Matt, ask me anything. Literally anything. Ask me."
What's your favorite color?
I'll tell you what my favorite color is. And the second someone pauses for 8 seconds and then says something to preface it, they're thinking about it more in their head because they actually don't have shit to say. That's improv. I'm a fucking entertainer. I know when someone's performing. Alex Jones is
actually
performing.
thinking
That's
a little
why he
bit.
smashes tables and gets all fired up because he's just a charismatic fucking performer.
Yeah.
Hitler did the same thing. Every occult leader does the exact same fucking thing. If you had actual truth to provide, if he truly believed this shit, and I don't even think he does.
Okay.
Hang on.
Yeah.
If he had actually anything to provide the human the human experience with, he's like, "Oh, hey, I have found something out that by presenting it to you, we're all going to move forward as a species." If he did, he would simply be like, "Here's the evidence. Let's use this to move forward."
Yep.
Instead, he flamboyantly and flagrantly just fucking showboats and uses all these really fucking weak parlor tricks to like make himself seem more entertaining and get people like you who watch him just because it's entertaining. And then you...
I watch him because he touches topics that are very interesting. Maybe they're bullshit, but there's always a little bit of truth to like a lot of shit.
So like I just said, there's people like you who just entertain him because he's entertaining.
Yeah.
And then there's people who like believe his shit. It doesn't matter. Either way, you are...
Yeah, but
So
I mean,
this is my conflict.
there's
Is
fucking fucked up people that listen to the Beatles, and then the fucked up guy shot John Lennon. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to get those people no matter what the
no,
fuck
man,
you
that
do.
was the Illuminati, CIA,
It
controlled by
could have
aliens
been.
and
I doubt
elves.
it, but you know.
Okay, we can go on about this forever.
Like,
Matt,
the
you need to use
world
that
is
microphone.
A fucking crazy
Matt,
place, man.
Come
Like,
forth and talk about how you felt overall, because I feel like James and I are gonna go off about this for fucking ever.
No, you guys are doing great.
No, thank you, sir. But I mean, because what percentile of that entire episode did you digest?
I was at work when I was listening to it. And
How much did you get in your ears?
He was spouting so fast.
Yep.
and
He's
so
always like that.
much. The only thing that I ever caught was every single time Joe kind of
Had to stop
him.
Yeah. That's
And
the thing is
and
like
he would just say, "Sorry, I'm ranting." Sorry.
So going back to my initial point
It was a
before we
lot.
jumped into this is like the dude sucks as a communicator.
yes.
He's
Yeah,
not.
he does.
He
He definitely
cannot.
does.
He cannot. But that's the thing. That's your first red flag that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. First red flag. The fact that he flowers up how much he knows but never provides what he actually knows, and then just doesn't have. He's like, "Oh, I got documents to see it." Then fucking provide them. Provide the documents.
Shit like that actually, like, literally gets people fucking killed, though.
Alex Jones would not. You think he says himself all the time, "I don't mind dying for this. I'm in the fight with the dragon, boy. I'm in the ring. I'll die for my cause." Then fucking do it. Get assassinated. If he got assassinated,
He got
I would
he got
believe more.
socially assassinated. He did.
that's
Think about
a
it.
cop out. That's more expensive
not
than a
fucking-
stick.
that's not
more.
a fucking cop
It
out.
is.
That-
It's
no,
more
it's
expensive.
not.
It's bullshit. He got fucking.
Not
He got
fucking
red
cop
foot.
out.
He got.
Not fucking cop
Oh,
out.
as he silences me. The fucking irony. The fucking irony. It's just like, yeah, that's how, dude. Okay. This is how this kid rap battles me. He'll be like, yo, kick a beat. One time for your mind, squeeze a lemon, squeeze a lime. Yeah. And then he'll spit a verse, and then it's your turn to do some freestyle rap battle to him, and then he'll let you go for 2 words, and you go, "Wrong! You're done! You're done! Shut it up! No!" And he's like screaming over you, and you're struggling to rhyme and hear the instrumental, and you can't because this kid's just like, "Wrong! Wrong! You shut up! You suck! I got my verse out!" And now you know what it feels like to be Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the irony of you silencing me when we're talking.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So here's the thing. Is a 60-cent bullet to the head less expensive, quicker, more efficient than going through a media silencing? He's not being silenced because he's revealing the truth. He's being silenced because that whole Sandy Hook thing.
But he's apologized for that.
Well, it doesn't matter. He still did it.
It does matter. Why can't? Okay, he didn't actually fucking call.
Okay,
for
so hang
violence.
on. If you're just
Like,
okay, hang on. In case you don't know, to provide some context, is that Alex Jones is accredited with being the inciting incident to the school shooting deniers, and he has since doubled back on a lot of the shit that he said about certain school shootings being staged and crisis actors being used. Look how much glare is coming off my hands. Dude, I'm like an angel.
That was in my face earlier.
That's what she said. And oh, that would be a good soundbite. That's what she said.
yeah, that would be.
Like Michael Scott. That'd be a good soundbite. But so Alex Jones entertained some ideas about school shootings being staged. I think the end result that he was arguing is like that people wanted more gun control. They wanted to take guns away from people. So they're okay. So, but it's obviously batshit. Kids get killed in schools. There's a massive problem. What, you didn't know about this? Yeah, look it up. He's crisis actors.
Yeah.
There is some weird shit that news. There's some weird shit that, but that's
but
news. Yeah. That is the news doing it.
Yeah.
Then if a fucking news. First of all, you got to understand that capitalism has made the news a fucking unreliable, evil place. Like mass media, fucking garbage, hot garbage. So when you see things like, for example, I do believe this when they're like, oh, look at this massive tragedy. That person is at this massive tragedy.
Yep.
That doesn't mean the tragedy's fake.
No.
That means whatever news source you're getting that from is hiring someone so it looks like they have an exclusive interview with someone. But it's weird that these conspiracy theorists are like, there's something bigger going on here.
Yeah.
And so Alex Jones did that shit about some Sandy Hook and other school shootings. Some of his overzealous followers, not Alex Jones himself, I will say that Alex Jones never said like, well, I don't know. He gets so fired up. He says some fucked up shit all the time. He might have. I don't know. I don't give a fuck enough to watch the footage and go look. But a bunch of Alex Jones supporters. What am I missing in the chat?
A lot.
I'm really stoked that the chat is bumping right now between Meep and Skrowski. Have you found out who Skrowski is yet?
No.
Fuck yeah. Just fucking with him. You're in his brain. This is amazing. So a bunch of Alex Jones supporters and followers went and harassed the actual parents of dead kids, which is like the most fucked up thing ever. You lost the most important thing to your child. Yeah. No parent should ever have to bury their kid. I can't imagine like a reverse orphan, like losing your child. Like that's the most fucked up thing I can imagine being. I don't have kids, but I can't imagine that feeling of loss. Like it must be the hurt. And then to have weird Dale Gribble pieces of shit roll up and be like, you should be killed because, and like harassing mourning parents, worst thing ever. So Alex Jones got hella sued. And he had to write a formal apology being like, I do not believe this shit. Yep. I was yelling about this stuff for views. I apologize. And he got sued. He got hella sued. And then what followed was media and social media silencing.
Yep. And do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. I do.
Don't,
No, I do. I
don't.
do. It counts as hate speech. It does.
It did, but he didn't.
Listen.
He didn't call for action on anything.
That's bullshit.
He didn't.
That's bullshit.
Find me.
That's okay. So that's like saying Hitler didn't call for action.
Hitler had a fucking army and
But
actually.
at the podium, he didn't say, I want you as individuals to go kill Jews.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah, maybe he did. Okay, my point.
Sure he did.
My point is, okay, here's my point.
Not like straightforward. Like I'm pretty sure he said something along the lines of like shit like that. Of like
this is a good point. This is a good point though. Like is just entertaining ideas.
And like I think a big problem with Alex Jones's audience is conspiracies do happen, but when it's just left to the imagination of humans fucking overthink shit. And instead of like, you can blame the media, which it probably was their, it's them that created the fucking crises actors, whatever. But the fucking schizophrenics and crazy motherfuckers go straight to, it's the government and it's
the people who distrust everything. Yeah, like, we'll get into that, but I do want to.
The Earth is flat.
Oh, okay, bring it back. Pump the brakes and dial it back. So, when you were like, do you think that's right that Alex Jones got silenced? I do. Even though he himself did not, as an individual, call for violence against the mourning parents of Sandy Hook, he propagated false information. And I will admit, he says that he was lied to and he believed lies. That is your responsibility. That is not like what? No, hang on. Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
So hang on. So if you have a huge outreach like he does, you have a moral and social responsibility and obligation to make sure that the shit coming out of your mouth is factual as best as you can. And that dude, it's very fucking obvious that he entertains anything.
Yep.
Like, if you have a batshit conspiracy, he'll talk about it with you. And that in person, you and I having a fucking conversation, maybe around a campfire, crushing some beers, and just talking about what kind of conspiracies they are, harmless.
Yep.
Alex Jones does not get in front of a camera and entertain ideas. He screams with passionate fervor about how the truth has been revealed, because that's his shtick.
Yeah.
That's the shit that sells it to people. Hang on, I'm not done. So, no, just fucking remember it. You'll fucking bring it up in 2 seconds anyways. But my point is, if you are the reason other people are taking you are the reason those wrong ideas were propagated. The end.
Yeah.
If he didn't use his fucking giant outreach to expose false ideas that are just the most fucked up things to even entertain, that these mourning parents are like, how fucking stupid do you need to be to not think mass shootings in schools happen?
Yep.
How stupid do you need to be? Why do you have a platform? Why do you have a platform with such a high outreach?
That's fair.
Okay? So he didn't get shut down. He wasn't banned.
Yes, he was.
No, listen. He didn't get shut down. He wasn't banned from doing InfoWars. He was banned from putting InfoWars
Media
on certain places
platforms.
because he's propagating bad ideas.
But who's to judge what the bad ideas are? And that's the fucking problem. You got these giant tech companies that are choosing what's bad and what isn't. And there's many examples that I don't even know, but I'm sure there's fucking plenty of examples of people doing worse shit and calling for violence and shit on Twitter and Facebook and all that don't get banned. It's true. Like, think about, like, I've seen so many fucking things on Twitter where it's like women's activists and shit like calling for violence against men, and it's like, that's not banned. You're literally telling people to like kill men, but that's not banned or whatever, right? But what's the difference between Alex Jones and like CNN? Why is their reporting, even though like it's not like, you know, they don't go as fucking hard as fucking Alex Jones does, but like when they're talking about shit in Syria, like, you're not in Syria. You don't know what's actually happening. You're just, well, that's what I'm saying, though. Like,
yeah, that's right. So because you're not in Syria, elves are controlling aliens, controlling demons, controlling politicians.
You're just hearing CNN's version of the frogs being gay. Like,
okay, that is a fair. Okay, you're right.
And like, I will like stray away from like the school shootings because that's a little fucked up, and like,
okay, don't stray away from it. You're cherry picking. No, fuck off. You're cherry picking your data. That is the reason why.
Violence.
No, fuck that. It doesn't matter if you. Okay, let's make this about a completely different topic then. Okay. Let's say no one's calling for violence. For example, when Trump called for violence against an individual in his crowd that was naysaying him and heckling him. Do you remember that? No. When he's like, oh, I'll punch that guy out and I'll pay for your legal fees. Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
Well, that's convenient.
No, I don't know that one, yeah.
Okay. Oh, dude, it's the Rex. Okay.
What about the Rexall?
Maybe this dude's from the Rexall Brothers. I don't know. So this is some of the music we're playing.
Oh.
Rexall Brothers. So, okay, hang on.
Oh.
If you propagate bad ideas with the fervor that Alex Jones does without fact-checking them, just for clicks and shit, you should be responsible for the backlash that happens as a result of you propagating those bad ideas. And it wasn't like Alex Jones doesn't go on camera and go, hey guys, this might not be true. This is something I've heard. Let's just entertain the idea. No, Alex Jones fires out the camera and goes, I have discovered the truth today. And the truth is, these horrible events are staged by crisis actors because the government is trying to take our guns. And so do you understand the difference? When you speak about something so objectively about your perspective being truth, that is indoctrination and not a discussion. And when you are taking advantage of, as you said, as even the funny thing is, like, even on the Joe Rogan podcast, Alex Jones is like, a great majority of my viewers are schizophrenic and are just contrarians who don't believe in anything. They have so much distrust because their perception of reality has been proven to be false because their brain doesn't add up properly.
Yep.
He's like, they just think the government's false. Their dog is in touch with aliens ratting them out. The government's ratting them out, blah, blah, blah. And they go to Alex Jones because like, oh, what else can I not trust today? Because they don't trust anything. So the thing is, when you know that's your demographic, you should probably exercise a little bit more fucking tact when you're entertaining weird, fucked up ideas.
Yeah.
You're reading the chat, aren't
I
you?
am reading
You
the
fucker.
chat.
I'm
I
trying
am
to have a
reading the
conversation with you.
I'm trying to do both.
At the end of the stream, we'll tell the middle guy he didn't accomplish shit while he was talking about Alex Jones, and you planned an entire wedding.
What do you think I've been doing for the last hour?
Here's the thing, is he's acting with such religious fervor about planning that wedding that he stands the chance of being objectively false. Nobody needs an automatic weapon like you need to have an AK-47.
The military does when the aliens come and fucking try to invade us.
Fuck, man. This is one of the reasons I hate the fact that you entertain Alex Jones. Here's the thing.
I love weird shit that like is hard to prove. I'm sorry. I like interesting topics like that.
Yeah.
The fucking clockwork elves with DMT. You can't. How the fuck can you prove that? But everyone sees it. It's a good fucking point. Why does everyone see the exact same hallucination?
They don't.
They do.
They don't.
They fucking
No, they
do.
don't. As Joe Rogan said on that fucking podcast, people experience something called harmony. And so if I tell you there's an elf over there, you're not going to be like, I don't see an elf, I see a dragon. You're going to go, oh yeah, an elf. That's one of the side effects of DMT use.
I never smoked DMT, but
I have lots of friends who have. Were you not paying attention during this podcast? Joe Rogan even says to Alex Jones, there is a chance that they didn't share the same hallucination so much as they influenced each other to agree on what they saw. Did you not listen to that part?
yeah, I did.
Stop making this about Skrowski! I also believe Alex Jones is right about everything. Oh, fuck you.
Not right about
Yo,
everything.
moderator, ban this fucker. Silence him. Silence him from YouTube. I know, don't. No. I'm joking. Fuck you. Just, dude, when the chat dictates the show itself, like, I can't even see what you're saying because I have glare in my fucking eyes. So, like, the universe. Yeah, dude. The universe is like, silence, wet worker. Give Skrowski a platform. Yeah, aliens will have weapons far beyond our own. Like, why the fuck would you fly across the galaxy to shoot weapons with gunpowder? Amen,
Simple. They
dude.
don't fly.
This is one of the
They
reasons.
teleport
No,
with wormholes.
that's not even that imaginative.
Simple.
That's not even that imaginative. Here's my thing. My favorite thing about Channing here. This is the dude I produce, Donnie Nympho, aka Lord Channing, aka Channing Warden, who's giving me tattoos and shit. Rad dude. The reason I like this dude is he's a science fiction nerd. The cool thing about science fiction nerds is they have the best imagination.
Yep.
So when you come up with stupid shit like elves controlling, demons controlling, grays controlling politicians, you realize that person is very stupid and doesn't even have that vivid of an imagination. That's not the monolith. That's not the blob. That's not an original concept. Those are human desires.
It is in a sense.
Listen, those are human desires projected onto false prophets.
It's the oldest fucking story.
It
in
is
history, good
bullshit.
versus evil.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? That's what
Dude,
it
you think
is.
they had a
It's-
wild imagination 2,000 years ago?
No, but like every fucking movie is like the exact same fucking story, just rewritten.
Hero's Journey. Trust me, I know
Yeah.
all about Joseph
Yeah.
Campbell. Yeah.
So, like, it's not that like.
Go ahead, James.
No.
Yeah, okay. So here's my point: is elves control? Elves
They don't
controlling?
control anything.
Well-
But go ahead.
Okay, you explain this.
Well, no, that's just fucking people smoke shit. And they fucking see the same shit.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's like they don't control shit, but there's theories like maybe those elves are like the muses. Maybe they are aliens from a fucking different dimension, from a higher dimension, and you know, maybe they can control fucking
That is so
biological
So whack.
cyborgs, also known as greys.
Uh-huh.
And that's how they come here. They don't travel through the galaxy. They just
That's
know?
that is some fucking Lord Xenu type bullshit. That's not even that imaginative.
Man, you
That
don't
makes
even,
no sense.
You don't even smoke weed.
I don't
like,
ha-
how would you even know?
Okay,
like, what
so check this out.
DMT would,
Check
like,
this out.
would, like,
Check this
affect
out.
your brain?
Do you
Like,
honestly believe that by ingesting a substance that your brain doesn't normally have that? I understand that
It
DMT is
removes
a
the
chemical in your
filter,
brain.
yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
I understand that DMT is a chemical in your brain, but it's super small amounts, only in
Sorry.
Are you paying attention to me?
Yeah.
I'm trying to fucking argue with
Sorry.
you, and you're sucking Skrowski's dick over here.
It's fun. Yeah.
Skrowski, you're botching this. But you followed me, so I'm not mad. But here, are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay.
I won't look at the chat.
Thank
I'll
you.
Look at you.
Do you honestly think that by ingesting something that makes you perceive things that aren't there, that is the path to truth? By ingesting a substance your brain isn't used to, or I shouldn't even say that because DMT does exist in your brain.
Yep.
So high doses that your brain's not used to. So you're experiencing things
Yep.
that aren't of this physical plane.
Okay.
You actually think
Okay.
that you're perceiving things that have always been there rather than perceiving things your brain is just making up.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay, while you ponder, what do you think about that?
Yeah. Come on,
Stop
Matt.
fucking... Dude, Skrowski, you have broken him. Dude, he's just
Have
like...
either
He's
of
looking
you-
at the chat like...
Have either of you ever experienced sleep paralysis?
Yes.
There's
I have.
the age-old myth of
Succubus, incubus?
waking up and there's some sort of demon
Succubus,
on your chest.
incubus.
Yeah, succubus on your chest, keeping you from moving. It's happened to me, and I've seen something on my chest.
Yep.
I can't put it into a form or a figure or anything like that, but that's common. It's universal.
Okay.
That image.
Yes.
Is that not part of the conversation anymore?
Yeah. No.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's
Articulate
very
your point.
relevant. Continue.
Oh, so is your point that everyone has had the a similar thing?
You guys, in the midst of all this chat.
Stop! Ignore the chat.
I heard something. You guys talking about elves and
the clockwork elves that people see.
Right.
Well, they're like mechanical elves. I never
Right.
smoked DMT.
That's not even that creative.
Right.
That's my favorite part about that conspiracy. It's like elves, cool. Fucking
who knows what the fuck? Maybe that's just the best way.
J.K.
to
Rowling
That's
wrote
just the best way
universe.
to describe them. Like fucking human language is very limited in describing shit.
I
Like,
agree.
So like maybe clockwork elves is the best way. I don't know. I've
Okay.
never fucking smoked
Okay,
it.
I-
Maybe it's a very
okay.
relevant description. I have no fucking idea.
I
the most
appreciate
I've
that.
heard about DMT is shapes and gears.
yeah,
and
geometric shapes.
Geometric.
Which makes sense with the clockwork elves in a sense. So
Right.
like,
Okay.
yeah, that's exactly what Alex Jones said. That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Like, because like apparently all these fucking military scientists, I guess like the wing from the CIA where they was the psychonauts, like the men staring at goats. Those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
They broke off, and I guess smoking DMT brings you to a place, and apparently they've had meetings with these aliens, and it's very real. And if they do it with, like, if me and Christoph did it, and we'd be in the same weird fucking dimension with these aliens, and that's the weird part, is apparently they see and hear the same shit.
Okay.
So that's the weird part. Now, even Alex Jones says, I don't believe this. This is just what I've been told. So right there, I just like it because it's fucking weird.
Okay.
And it's possible, maybe, but
Thank you,
I'm-
Skrowski.
improbable, but yeah.
Okay. I do agree, unprobable. Until we have actually documented scientific studies that ingesting any substance provides you with the same tangible... I need a controlled study, peer-reviewed and everything, where
Yeah, that's
people
fair.
who are not told anything about this shit...
But if it's on the frontier shit and it's like military classified,
Here's the
probably
thing.
won't hear about that.
To go back to Matt's thing about sleep paralysis and the succubus incubus sitting on your chest, compressing it, etc. Do you know that the brain, and I don't mean to gaslight you. I'm not saying this is 100%.
I only looked into it as while it was happening to me. I didn't look much.
Okay, so here's the thing. Are you aware that in the absence of information, your brain will try to compensate with it?
Yes. Yeah,
so you know the
that's-
whole thing about if you were to sit in absolute silence, you'll just start hearing things that aren't there.
Yeah.
And it's not because you're crazy. It's because even with room tone, like if I took these headphones off and everyone stayed perfectly quiet, the atmosphere in the room is still making a small amount of noise.
Yeah, it's decibels.
Exactly, right? So they have
I'm gonna
rooms.
guess about 30 decibels.
Oh
for
my
this room.
God, you fucking audio science nerd. So they've done these things, these studies, where they have made completely soundproof rooms. Completely soundproof.
Yeah.
The most quiet place
It's
on
even
earth.
quieter.
People go insane
That's
after
not
2 or
true,
3.
but yeah.
Can you, man,
Well, you're wrong because actually there's a thing. It's like that's not true. The longest someone stayed in there is 40 minutes. It's just because that's how long they decide to stay in there. You can stay in there for as long as you want.
You can.
Yeah.
What, you think your body is automatically
No,
going to
but
move you
there's,
out
like,
of
an
there?
article where it's like, no one can stand in here for longer than 40 minutes.
It makes you wildly uncomfortable.
I'm pretty sure one
Maybe
guy who was
uncomfortable, but it's not
in a
impossible.
war.
It makes you uncomfortable.
One war veteran. He was a young guy, but he went to war and he came and I think he spent 2 hours in that room.
Okay.
Loved it because he was surrounded.
This
by
isn't my point.
loud
My
sound.
point is,
Anyway, go on.
my
yeah,
point is, regardless of how long the longest person in that room has ever stayed there, it made 100% of these people uncomfortable because your human experience isn't used to such a lack of audio coming from either just reflective surfaces, your own breath, etc. These rooms dampen sound so fucking much that the absence of stimuli causes your brain to go like, wait, this is not natural.
Yep.
This is not normal.
Yep.
The regular world around you has wind and birds chirping and your feet shuffling, making a noise on the ground. Whatever is happening here is not natural. And because your brain, no brain on Earth for the last hundreds of thousands of years that human beings have existed has been dialed in to be accustomed to that unless you're deaf, like 100% deaf. And then even then, you still compensate with vibrations and you still hear things, just not with your ears. You still feel things. So people feel uncomfortable because their brain is like, what the fuck is this? I don't know how to deprogram what I'm being given here. So it compensates. And so when you have a lack of information, you'll often put things there. Like, have you ever seen those tests where they'll take random patterns, but people will see faces in them? Have you ever seen those? They did this in like grade 11 psychology. Same thing. So with the succubus incubus thing, there is nothing fucking there. There's no demon sitting on your chest. That's not imaginative enough. That makes no sense. But because you've heard of people talking about demons sitting on chests, part of it being a part of sleep paralysis, you put it there. If you give me every culture on top of planet Earth that have been, take every person that has been diagnosed medically as someone who suffers from sleep paralysis, I guarantee you every person has a completely different experience and not a thing sitting on their chest.
Yeah. Well, my sleep paralysis experience happened.
Was it a thing sitting on your chest?
No.
There you go.
I did.
So end.
I was taking malaria pills.
Wait, why were you taking? India.
Yeah,
when you going to India?
Planning to go to India.
Sorry, Matt. I had to stunt on you. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I was taking malaria pills, and a couple nights I got sleep paralysis, and it's the exact same thing. I woke up
from malaria pills.
Yeah.
Like that's a side effect.
Yeah.
Oh my! Like it's documented.
I'm pretty sure. It was
my god.
So I woke up and I was in my room and I was just like staring at the ceiling, and then I just was overcome with a feeling that something was coming, but that was it. Nothing came. I didn't see shit. And then that was basically the whole experience. Then I just like went back to sleep.
Right away? What did it spook you so much you were awake for a bit?
It probably felt. Well, actually, yeah, it did wake me up. That's right. So like, I woke up, I couldn't move, and it felt like something was coming. And then I actually woke up, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like I was like, "That's fucked." And I stopped taking the pill.
So, psychomotor shit like that, where it's like, for example, there's a thing on my chest staring at me. It's making me wildly uncomfortable. Your mind is a little bit awake, but your body is asleep because that's the paralysis part. Something is coming, but I don't know what.
Yeah.
All of these things, regardless of what face or name we put on top of it, whether it's a demon or whether it's aliens possessing you, I'm sure a lot of this has to do with alien abduction experiences.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So. Even though I've
So here's the thing.
also had a experience with that too.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's the next thing we're talking about. We're not avoiding that. But check this out. For example, have you guys ever heard? You know that feeling you get when you're laying down and then you'll move just a little bit, but it feels like you just fell 100 feet.
Yep.
Did you ever hear it?
Where you catch yourself right before you sleep and you feel like you're like falling over.
Yep.
Yeah,
Have you ever felt that?
Sleep apnea?
No, sleep apnea
like,
is a
say,
respiratory
like, you're
thing.
just on the couch and like you're watching something. They're like right before you go to sleep, you're like it
feels like you
you're
fell
falling backwards or
Yeah.
something. You're like
Yeah.
Okay. And also, have you ever been like slowly dozing off and like you feel like, oh fuck, this is about to be the deepest sleep I've ever had ever, and then your legs will just go boom, and you're like, what the fuck, like legs? I was about to enjoy that. Have you ever felt that?
I always thought it was me just subconsciously holding my breath.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people.
Weird.
I thought it was that too, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So they've figured out what the fuck these things are. It's actually like it's really interesting. parts of your brain aren't aware. Like some of you is too awake, but you're physically exhausted, so you need sleep. But the rest of your brain hasn't fully gone like, okay, we're gearing down for sleep. So you go to bed. That's why it's always like on the couch, like you're about to
Well,
you pass out.
That's one thing that causes sleep paralysis, sleep deprivation.
Yeah.
Drugs.
But check it out. So it's different compartments of your brain in conflict with each other because some of your parts of your brain are like, hey, okay, cool, time to go to bed. Let's start shutting things down. Then the other parts of your brain are going like, what the fuck? Things are shutting down, but we're awake? Shit, we're dying. Kick into high gear. Oh, yeah. So your heart goes and your feet going because it's actually your body trying to jumpstart the system to remind you to not fucking die. It's like your own little built-in defibrillator.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Honestly. Yeah. So, okay. Dialing it back. You've been abducted by aliens.
I was not abducted by aliens. Fake news.
You are fake news.
I was not abducted by aliens.
Go on.
I even hate telling this story because I know like it's pretty like it's not like unbelievable, but it's odd. And like so
I turned off the music for dramatic effect.
Thank you. And I'll so I guess when we first moved into this town,
we don't live here anymore, by the way. We're not that lame.
Yeah,
Go
I
on.
do, but
We're not that lame.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Just there was one night my bed was facing like the window, and I saw two lights. Yeah, 2 lights fly by really fast. And I would always just like I could always see one star in the gap between the blinds and the wall, and I'd just stare at it. I don't know why. Just stare at it and think. But so I saw that, and then I got up and I like went to like mom and dad, and I was like, I saw 2 lights go by my window like really fast. Like,
and mom and dad go back
no,
to
they go,
sleep. Son.
It was just the tooth fairy. Go back to bed. And I was like very frustrated. I was like, wow, like fucking don't take anything I say serious.
Never,
like,
never. They never do.
So
Hi, Mom. I broke my leg. Oh, that sucks, bro. Hey, I'll put the music back on.
Yeah, put that music back on. So I was like, wow, all right, whatever. So I went back to bed. And then I woke up in the middle of the night. Woke up in the middle of the night, and I was sleeping on my side, staring at my door.
Not your side. Sucks, doesn't it, James?
Yeah, it does.
You just learned a valuable lesson.
So I was sleeping on my side, staring at my door, and there was a really bright bluish white light going by like the cracks, like in a fluid motion, just from left to right. Fuck, you can laugh all you want.
It was me with the flashlight.
I'm just telling you what I saw, okay? And then
you
I
asked
like,
him, Krista.
Yeah, and I'm the reason. I did it with a flashlight. I was fucking with you and your brother.
Are you for real?
Holy shit! Like 20 years of your life just fucking went by. You're like, I've been living a lie.
You're lying.
Dude, I fucked with you so much more than I've ever confessed. That was totally something I would do all the time. I was
You
in the
never did that.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Never did
I
that.
always knew you were obsessed with aliens and space and shit, so I like would always fuck with you. James, look up. That one's moving. Oh my god, it is. It's not moving, bro.
Well, you didn't do the fucking light splat.
You don't know that?
I do know that.
Really?
Yeah.
You're more convinced that aliens visited you as an individual from another galaxy than me fucking with you with a flashlight.
I say me as an individual. I said me as they visited
Okay, the
our
neighbor.
house. Maybe they visited our house. But like, hey, if you
Okay,
fucked with
okay.
me, then you fucked with me. But I'm just telling you from my perspective, okay? I woke up and there was a fucking bluish white light going fucking pretty fluidly smooth. I would not contribute you being able to do it, but okay.
Really?
Yeah, don't even fucking hit me or fucking.
This doesn't look familiar to you.
No.
That fluid.
You already did it wrong because you're going back and forth, and it was like one way. Anyways.
Impossible
Oh
to be
my God.
replicated by humans.
And then yeah.
No human being could do this, ladies and gentlemen.
And then I heard the footsteps near the sliding back door, and I also heard like our cat's footsteps too. And then,
Does that not just sound like a human being that
and
was
then-
outside?
And then I passed the fuck out.
as every concerned
Bro,
person
I
does.
saw-
Oh,
I-
like you were induced
Like
to
I
sleep.
saw, like
Okay.
as soon as I heard the footsteps, I put the blanket over my head and I said, "Go to fucking sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep," and I passed the fuck out, and that was it.
Damn. Well, sorry to ridicule you for divulging something so vulnerable. I appreciate your truth. Okay. So none
really
of that
young.
none of that sounded supernatural. I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't, but it was.
But it
strange.
felt supernatural?
It was strange.
So it felt supernatural?
Definitely did.
Do you think maybe that feeling was induced by maybe a close to sleep state?
No, I was definitely awake. I had adrenaline pumping as soon as I saw the lights.
Maybe this was your sleep paralysis.
No, because compared to the other sleep paralysis, I couldn't move. This one, I was fully functional. I got up a little bit, right? And then as soon as I heard the footsteps, I put the blanket over my head because it fucking scared the shit out of me. And my biggest regret is not opening that bedroom door to see what was on the
To
other
see
side.
what was
Maybe it was you fucking with me. Maybe it wasn't.
Yep.
But I'll never fucking know. Ever.
very, very, I'm going to tell you, it is beyond 99.999999999% likely that you either dad was in the backyard with one of the animals.
way.
Okay. No, I'm just saying. Could have been anything. But the fact that you heard footsteps, that's a human trait.
Maybe.
Why do you think aliens would produce footsteps?
With their feet.
They have feet, like humans.
Yeah.
This is my problem with all people who have conspiracies.
Monkeys have feet too. They're not humans.
But we came from them. We're from the same family.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Now we're getting to the whole we come from aliens thing.
No, but like bears have feet too. Like I'm just
No,
saying,
they have
like,
paws.
Whatever, they
Remember
can
that
make-
last episode I said turtle
So I
paws?
didn't say that. I heard paw steps. Like,
I heard tentacle
but I did
steps.
actually hear paw steps because we had cats, and I heard the cat fucking walking.
Does this whole experience not just sound like one of our parents letting the cats in?
No, because of the light. The light was really fucking like. It was fucking bright. It was a bright fucking light, and that's what like.
How old were you?
I was about 11 or 12.
Say what you got to say, Matt.
Well, I was gonna sing memories from a long time ago.
Yep.
Will sometimes get blown out of proportion the older you get.
I remember this,
That's
though.
true.
I remember him
Yeah.
freaking
Remember
out
you
about
talking
this
about
when he was
this.
young. Yeah, I
Oh.
remember it.
Oh yeah.
Forget it then.
It scared the shit out of me. It scared the shit out of me.
Me too, because I was only like 16, 17 at the time. I was like, oh, fuck, aliens visited you, bro. But then I was like, as I grew older, I'm like, we mispronounced. Wait, was this? He flashed his light a couple of times, and now he's beyond repair. Yo, you know what's actually really funny about this? I have turned my roommate's cat into like a fucking 9/11 truther, because like that cat is so fucking into like light conspiracy. So if I take like the light there and I like reflect it, like it's not going well. But
The light's over by
yeah, gotcha.
Here we go.
Gotcha. Right around there. Right around there. Okay. So if I do that with the cat, it fucking loses it. Like it's played with laser pointers or whatever.
Yeah.
But honestly, I did this once a month ago. The cat is broken forever. I broke my roommate's cat. As soon as I wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
it walks into the middle of the kitchen and just like looks at the ceiling. And then I'll just go around making coffee and breakfast or whatever, and it thinks it's seeing the light. So it's like, and it's like freaking the fuck out.
Oh my god.
Dude, yeah. I caused this cat's mental retardation. I caused my brother's mental retardation. You're next, bro. I'll get you with lights, bro.
Got him!
I wonder if there's a superhero that fucks with people with lights. I know Jubilee can control lights, but it's like
Cyclops.
fireworks. That's photokinetic shit coming
Do
out
you
of
know
his eyes.
actually how like his superpower works?
Oh, are you about to tell me?
Yeah.
Go on.
His eyes are actually a portal to another dimension that's just pure energy, and his glasses are just a mirror that reflect the pure energy back into the dimension.
Oh, imagine those headaches.
Right? And then that's how he uses his superpower. He just opens up the fucking mirror and it fucking shoots out the pure energy. I was like, wow, it's fucking pretty smart.
Left guy's immune to the lights. That's hilarious. So this is definitely gonna be our longest podcast ever because we have to go we're gonna dial it back to we're talking about entertaining, cute, maybe outlandish ideas just for the sake of discussion versus being a source that propagates bad ideas to the point that media outlets have to shut you down. So you don't think because I do believe in free speech. Anyone should be, even like if you're wrong. I don't agree with prejudices and hate,
Yep.
but that you have to understand that in certain times when bad things are the norm,
Yep.
good ideas might sound prejudiced and hate-filled.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Certain revolutions happened this way or whatever. But like, so I do believe like at the root of a lot of things, you have to allow for conversations to happen, even if they're shitty. So here's the thing. When you're like, they shut Alex Jones down. No, they didn't. He didn't get a court order to stop functioning info and news wars. He got denied access to YouTube. Now, here's the thing is I completely, whether or not it was done effectively,
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay.
But the idea that we have a serious scourge with misinformation in today's world is factual. We
fair.
have
That's
okay.
fair.
So here's the thing:
But
is
why
no,
is
I'm
only-
not done. I'm not done. I'm not done. Here's the thing: is they're taking down flat Earth videos now, and not just because it's like, hey guys, here's what flat Earthers
I feel
believe.
like
blah,
'cause there's
blah.
overwhelming evidence against it, though. That's
So there's overwhelming evidence against false shootings.
maybe there's not as much science to, you know what I mean? Like,
Whatever point you're cobbling together right now, it's not going to
Flat
stand.
Earth is like, it's a fucking, we live on this earth. School shootings, I've never experienced one.
So they
I've
don't
experienced-
exist.
No, I'm saying they don't exist. I'm just saying I live on Earth. I live on this round Earth. I've never been involved.
Have you seen the Earth's roundness? Nope.
Yeah.
Have you seen a school shooting?
Yeah.
Nope. So both are fake
I
forever.
mean, I've seen both.
And
through
they're
fucking the
silencing
internet,
Alex Jones in falsely.
But I've also seen aliens on the internet too.
You know what's funny that you said flat Earth? Alex Jones freaking out about flat Earth being wrong was the fucking funniest thing ever. Because it's like this dude who's like renowned for entertaining shitty, stupid, wrong, false ideas and talking about them like fact. And then Eddie Bravo's like, no, bro. You ever see them build the ISS? There's no footage. Guess why? Flat Earth. And he's like, you fucking idiot. I will fucking rock you. I will kill you, Eddie Bravo. I'm so fired up right now. I'm Alex Jones. Buy my things at Infowars.com. Hit the store. Buy my men's hormones. But it was just the funniest fucking thing ever to see the world's great. I would say he's not like insane. I'd say he's like 9 out of 10 there, maybe 8.5 out of 10 there. But like maybe 8. Maybe the issue is in his inability to communicate. But I do think he's wrong about a fuckload of stuff, and he entertains bad, dangerous ideas. Not to say that you shouldn't be able to talk about them. It's just the way he does. He talks about them like they're fucking fact, which is dangerous because you influence small minds. This is how cult leaders infect people. He does it, and he knows he does it. That's why he makes millions of dollars every year selling fucking, it snake oil on his website.
That was the point that I was going to bring up with like him being censored. Is
hello.
He lost like apparently 5 bank accounts, and he only has 1 left.
That's weird.
So like,
but that
why
might be a
should
fraud
that
thing.
happen to anybody?
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
That does make no sense to me.
Like,
but here's the
fucking
thing:
money-
is do you actually expect Alex Jones to tell you the truth if he got caught on fraud? Because did you see the John Oliver expose about the snake oil he sells people on his website about hormones and vitamins that are just nothing? So maybe they shut him down because of fraud
He'd be in jail.
accusations.
They wouldn't have taken his bank accounts.
That's
He'd be in
bullshit.
jail.
No, that's bullshit. He
Oh,
can
really?
afford the best lawyers on earth.
Even in that podcast, they talk about that one guy I've never heard of that went to jail for exactly what you're talking about, for selling fake vitamins.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe, maybe he's selling some bullshit, but
Oh, no.
Maybe
Okay,
he's not
okay, no.
lying
You're
about
right.
what it
I know what we're talking about now. I remember. It's just that 5-hour podcast is a lot to sort through, but here's what it is. They did lock down multiple of his bank accounts because he got designated as a hate group. Remember?
Okay.
He
Yeah.
got designated H. That's what it was.
which seems pretty crazy. I mean, he
Okay.
talks about some weird shit, but he's not fucking
The Sandy Hook shootings,
ISIS.
dude. I'm telling
But
you.
he didn't actually like tell people.
Go
to
ahead.
fucking-
Go ahead. Okay. All right. How's okay? Watch. Here's what I'm doing. Okay. I need you to pay attention to what I'm doing. I'm gonna mute the music because I need
Yep.
your full focus. Okay. I'm a fictitious character.
Yep.
I'm Dr. Schlingblong.
Okay. Hello, Dr. Schlongblong.
Schlingblong, actually. It's German. And I'm not going to do a German accent because I'll offend any German person who ever hears it. But here we go. I'm not calling for violence or eugenics. I'm just saying that this denomination of persons that I have identified
Yeah.
is inferior to white people. Just in every way. I'm not saying go out and murder them and attack them.
Yep.
I'm just saying
People do that
they're
type
inferior.
of talk on YouTube and shit all the time and don't get shut down.
yes, they should.
But they don't. That's what I'm
And they
saying.
will if they had better. Okay, my point is, if you put stupid fucking ideas out there that other people can
Dude.
use as. Listen, if you take stupid ideas and put them out there and speak about them with
Yeah.
such fucking, I don't know, like they're objective truths with no fucking. And they're clearly backed by an agenda. If you,
Dude.
listen, I'm not done. If you put them out there and other people are able to use it as ammo, you know what you're fucking doing. You know. Alex Jones wasn't like, oh, well, this isn't going to influence anyone. You know what I mean? Yes, I can't. Alex Jones might not have ever called for violence,
Yeah.
but he is the reason those ideas infected stupid people. And he
it
knew.
happens, and it's going to happen without him being there or not. I'm just saying it's unfair.
Okay,
that
all right.
they-
I got the
they
perfect example. I have the
targeted
perfect
one
example.
guy
I have
like
the
that.
perfect example.
Yep.
You ready? Holocaust deniers. Should a grade 11 social studies teacher be allowed to project his opinion as an educator and as a public informant that his opinion that the Holocaust did not happen? Do you think he has the right to do that?
Not in the classroom.
And what do you think fucking InfoWars is? A giant classroom
Not paid
for
by the-
40-year-olds
but
who
it's
have
not paid-
mistrust the
but,
government.
Like, the government's paying for that fucking lesson.
So that's the difference. If the government
If-
pays you, you shouldn't be able to say what you want, but you can take the same ideas, and as long
If
as you're
that
making
teacher
your own
wants-
money.
If that teacher wants to go on YouTube and start saying that, sure.
Really?
Whatever. Yeah.
And when he goes, I'm a social studies
saying
teacher.
it's
I know
right.
what I'm talking about. I have discovered perfect objective truth, Joe, that the Holocaust was in fact
Dude, the
a
fucking,
false flag
the
event.
whole world is fucking corrupt in some way. Like, fucking Joe Rogan has like those archaeologists.
I hate your teacher.
Are those archaeologists, and they fucking fuck, I can't remember that one guy, the old guy that like passed away.
That's a good one. I'd say that last one. I'm gonna go for another cigarette.
Joe, oof, oof. Okay, I actually have a really funny one for Leah and you. Actually, before you go. So when I was in high school, same years as you because we're the same age.
Yep. God.
Yeah, so a million years ago. South Park was almost in its prime, whatever. And we were actually learning. What are you doing? But you're listening. Okay. So we had a girl in the class that hit in high school, especially back then, you had every archetype, and they were all true. You had your jocks, you had your goths, you had your punks, you had your weird drama kids, blah, 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 blah. Your druggies, everything. And we had like the stereotypical blonde bimbo who she was nice, but she wasn't very smart, but she had some really bad toxic ideas. And she was like, we were learning about the Holocaust in one of the earlier grades in high school. And she's like, why are we even learning about this stuff? Like, it's all fake. And so people were like, oh shit, she's a Holocaust denier. But no, it goes one step better. So our teacher was like, okay, I can't remember her name. I think it was like Nikki or something. I was like, okay, Nikki, do you want to explain what it is you mean to everyone? And she's like, well, we all know this is wrong. And he's like, he was gearing up. He was like, because this is the first round where Holocaust deniers really started becoming a thing in the media, and he started realizing they existed. And she goes, well, we just know it didn't happen. And he's like, oh, so you're saying the Holocaust didn't happen? She's like, no, one step further, Jews don't exist. He's like, I beg your pardon? And she's like, Jewish people don't exist. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, obviously I'm paraphrasing, but everyone was like, what are you talking about? She's like, Jews are just characters South Park made up to make fun of. What? Yeah! She had a kid 2 years later. Right? Like, she's like, oh yeah. Dude, she believed Jews were just fictional characters that South Park made up to tease.
Stupid people will exist forever.
Right? It's weird. So here's the thing: is like it's a tricky subject. But when you're influencing people with false information, you should be held accountable. He didn't get court ordered to never do his show again. He just got silenced on certain media outlets. Here's the thing: is a bunch of flat Earth, 9/11, and alien conspiracies that just talk bullshit and can't back it got taken down too.
Yeah, but they basically exiled him from another, like the new like human world, basically, of like communication.
New World Order?
The internet, like he got banned off of fucking Facebook and YouTube and Twitter or whatever.
They have terms of service. Don't provide false information and hate speech.
But they selectively choose who they ban. And
I do agree.
You can't do that.
I do agree.
Like they gotta set like
very strict. But the thing is,
they
it's
gotta
malleable.
follow their own rules. That's all I'm saying. Like, if they're gonna ban him, then they should ban like those Black Lives Matters people that just basically say kill all white people. It's like
Yeah, that's hate
ban
speech.
them too, you know, like
That's hate speech.
yeah.
I agree. Okay, so here's the thing: is I think the reason it's not set in stone is because it kind of saves them legally. Because think about this, okay?
Yeah.
Think about 50 years ago, what words were common and what words were not.
Yep.
There's certain words that are fucking atrocious that you were able to say,
Yep.
and vice versa. 50 years from now, it's gonna change again. You know what I mean? Like culture's gonna shift.
Definitely.
Certain words are gonna be very taboo and not okay, and certain words. So they can't make a literal codex of like banned words or banned things or banned ideas because it's always evolving.
Yeah.
I think that actually saves them a lot of fucking legal liability in case the lawyer's like, yeah, this guy who is propagating hate speech, he's
Yeah.
allowed to say this hate speech because it's not covered under your codex of banned speech.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? They have to keep it malleable. And I do agree that Patreon and Facebook, Instagram, I have a lot of friends.
Patreon, isn't that one pretty like messed up? Like, did they ban a few
They-
people? That
they,
was very weird.
They
Like,
go digging. The thing is, the people that they're pissing off are those right-wing trolly edgelord 4chan dickweeds that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really too upset about it. It isn't every single person they've banned. I've been like, yeah, I'd kind of want to smack them in the face and shut them up too. But like, just because they're shitty people who are like, I'm just talking about ideas about why white people are superior. It's
Yeah.
like, shut the fuck up. Like it is just because you don't lay out your agenda in layman's terms at the beginning of every single one of your videos, it's like I don't suffer from context blindness. I know what you're actually saying, and it's very obvious what your agenda is most of the time.
Yeah.
So but I will say it is weird that Patreon will go digging on other social media platforms for the same person to try to like ban them. That is kind of weird and greasy, but I've never seen an instance where I was like, oh, they're wrong there. No, every single time I've seen them do it, it's like, yep, that person was being shitty.
Yeah.
There are stretches like that Sargon of Assad or whatever. He N-bombed. He's a white guy. He has no right saying that shit. He N-bombed somewhere really stupid on another person's YouTube channel. So it wasn't even his own YouTube channel. It was another person's YouTube channel. And he was trying to prove the point that like, oh, you want us to stop hating you N-words? Well, then stop acting like a bunch of N-words. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you piece of shit? So Patreon banned him.
Yeah.
Now, does Patreon have the right to ban him off of YouTube content that wasn't even his own? It was his voice in another interview. Yeah, I agree. Patreon belongs to someone. Okay. If you run a pastry bakery,
Yep.
and you know a person has prejudiced views.
Yep.
I will say this out of the gates: we do live in a really divisive, hyper aggressive, over politicized world right now where like you can make a bad joke and someone else will use it as ammo to try to prove your prejudice. Like obviously that exists. We're not talking about that. But if you know someone is like really fucking rude or whatever, you can deny them service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why can't Patreon pick and choose whoever they deny service to? According to their own values. It's the same thing. Someone owns Patreon.
Yeah.
If Patreon was a cupcakery, they can be like, I don't want to give you cupcakes because that one time you yelled at my employee.
I think like one of the main arguments is services like that should be treated as utilities for everyone.
They're
Just
not
like,
though.
Just like telephones, like
Yeah.
like Alex Jones essentially got banned from using his telephone.
That's a stretch, but
That is a stretch, but like I think that's like the comparison like most people make with that argument. Like everyone almost is on Facebook. Like everyone's on Twitter.
doesn't matter. Someone owns Facebook. The thing is, that's the scary thing. Okay, so this goes both ways. Are you going to be China and the government's going to run Facebook and it becomes a utility? Or are you going to allow individuals to become super powerful with a thing that is used like a utility but actually isn't? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like think about how many things you've seen over the years. I can name several that have popped up and be like, "Hey, we're going to take over Facebook, and we're gonna do the same thing Facebook does, but we're not going to sell your information."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh fuck, yeah, that's cool." Can't do it. Facebook's already in place and has too much power.
Yeah.
Too many people are
Too much money.
mesmerized by the convenience of already having a Facebook.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much that they want to use a fucking, I don't know. I can't remember the name of the first one. The one with the smiley face that was really dumb. Whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone's tried. A lot of Davids stepped up to the Goliath and have failed. Unfortunately, like I don't have the proper fucking solution.
Even
all-
Google failed at trying to compete them.
Yeah.
Well, Google Plus, I think it was.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that's
that. Yeah.
gone. That doesn't even
Well, fuck
exist
that.
anymore.
Yeah, doesn't work. So, going back, you know how we were talking about sleep paralysis being your mind compensating for things, blah blah blah. So if you're just tuning in, join the chat. We'll talk with you. We love you all. Thank you for the engagement. Smash that follow or subscribe button. We love you. We're talking about Alex Jones versus Joe Rogan, and also we drank Mountain Dew Baja Blast at the beginning of this, so I have to piss really badly again too. So actually, you know what? You guys take the mic while I go piss.
Go Baja Blast that piss out.
I'm gonna Baja Blast. So
Or I'll be entertaining. No, I'm just kidding.
This stuff is jolting. I'm
Yeah,
vibrating.
all
right
that
now.
fucking caffeine that's in here.
Vibrating.
No, I didn't even realize like fucking my hands shaking from
I
drinking this.
feel like I'm
Baja.
shivering, like I'm cold, but it's actually just Baja.
Like I wonder how many milligrams of caffeine's in a cup of coffee.
Not this much.
Like fuck. Woo. Amount of caffeine in a cup of coffee.
Something like 14, 80.
94.8
14.
milligrams. So this is like drinking a cup of coffee, basically.
I don't know, man.
Well, it's the coffee plus all that fucking sugar. It's like, yeah, coffee and crack.
Nice.
Oh, welcome back from your wank. I hope it was
Nice.
good. But yeah. Fuck, I don't even remember what like we were talking about.
I like how this started with I had about 2 sips of this
Put some
Baja
respect
Blast,
on
and I really did not like it, and now I'm almost done.
that's the chemicals talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
You actually don't like it. The
And
chemicals
I
are
really
convincing you.
You're
don't.
addicted.
Yeah,
I
now-
don't.
Okay.
It's terrible.
So here's a segue. We were talking about sleep paralysis, hallucinations, and your mind compensating for a lack of information. Going back to the Alex Jones versus Joe Rogan thing, when Alex Jones I thought this was really weird. This is usually the sign of someone with delusions. He admitted he was schizophrenic. I know it was kind of a joke.
He said he had schizophrenic episodes.
Okay, so the weird here, I'm gonna pause this because I need to articulate this. He made his defense being like, okay, I'm not responsible for the shitty actions of others because schizophrenics took the things I said and went with them way too far. Okay, fair. But he starts to go into like why people believe the shit they believe and how it's false.
Yeah.
And he's like, they're schizophrenic. They don't believe anything. They distrust the entire perception of reality around them because it doesn't add up in their brain. So they come to me because I'm talking about things that don't add up, and they're like, aha, the government's false, that's false, that's false. And then they also turn on Alex Jones. They call him like a Zionist, whatever the fuck that is. And like, they're like, oh, so he's false, everything. And they're looking for ways to disprove the fact that anything is real. Okay. And he's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And then later on in the fucking episode, he's like, I'm the same way. It's like, well, then, motherfucker, who are you to speak with authority about what is or isn't real?
Yeah.
Does that not strike you as odd?
Yeah.
Right? So if you know that a quality about yourself is that you're often wrong about mistrusting fucking literally everything. And here's the thing, Alex Jones has been correct about things.
Yeah.
I hate saying that. He's a fucking jackass and I hated him up until very recently. But a broken clock is correct 2 times a day. You know what I mean? Alex Jones has discovered some things that have proven to be true.
He's good if you do your own research and not just take his word for it.
He's good?
Like if you he talks about weird subjects that if you actually like look up a little bit and like kind of like just find your own sources for it, interesting things to read about. Like he does like, I find he like touches interesting topics.
I don't find mistruths interesting.
It's not all mistruth.
It is. The world
not.
is so full of fun things yet to be discovered that are fucking factual that you can do in your backyard.
Yeah.
How so has the objective, visible universe, fucking majestic wonders everywhere, so failed to entertain you that you need to go create a new one full of like elves and demons and aliens?
because reality's fucking weird and
But
you
come
to
the
just
fuck
dismiss
on.
everything right away is
But that's not even that interesting. Elves, demons, and aliens. That's not even that inventive. That's not even that inventive. It's not like dude's telling us about our origin from extra-dimensional fucking influences. Well, I guess he kind of is, but he sucks at it. Dude, fucking J.K. Rowling is a better writer than Alex Jones. And I don't like J.K. Rowling stuff. So
magic is real, Christoph. So
magnets, how do they work?
how do magnets work?
Fuck all these scientists. Them motherfuckers be lying and shit. So here's the thing, is dialing it back, is he called himself schizophrenic, and he's like, there's that amazing soundbite that we have to find where he's like, Joe, I gotta tell you something. I'm fucking retarded.
He says I'm kind of retarded.
I'm kind of retarded. This reminds me of when I visited Grandpa once. You should visit Grandpa more then. See you next week at 1 p.m. on the Doapness. Grandpa's favorite podcast. He talks about that. He starts. So the thing is, he calls himself like he's like, I'm a little bit schizophrenic.
Yep.
Right? You remember that?
Yep.
So he knows he's not all there. He calls himself like kind of retarded. Blah 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 blah.
He said he had schizophrenic episodes. I don't
Well,
think that
that's
full.
not. Yeah, he's like, I suffer.
everyone.
He said, I suffer from psychosis.
Okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
You should.
That doesn't mean you're wrong.
But you should have to then question your perception.
Who says he doesn't? It's just,
Are you fucking kidding?
he's like trapped in this fucking world where he's fucking broadcasting himself every day.
He can stop
It's
whenever
his-
he
it's his
wants.
well, maybe.
That's on him. It's making him money. That's why he's continuing to do it.
Exactly.
That's why he's spreading stupid information. It's not like he doesn't know that saying things like, the chemtrails are turning the freaking frogs gay. He knows that's a soundbite.
Yeah.
He's not stupid. He is
Yeah.
aware he's going to go viral because
maybe
of
he
it.
doesn't though. That's
Are
what
you?
I mean.
James.
What? He's just really bad at like fucking.
No, he's got a new soundbite that goes viral every couple weeks. He knows. Otherwise, are you kidding me? So here's the thing. If he
Okay.
wanted to not go viral because of the outlandish shit he says,
Yep.
he would learn from it and not do it
Or
anymore.
maybe he just says outlandish shit and just happens to go viral. He doesn't do it on purpose. It's just who he is, which is fair, and he just sucks
So
at
you're
giving
saying
context.
that he just is who he is and he doesn't grow or learn. That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
Like even
No,
so,
I'm
even
not
if
disagreeing with you there, that is bad. But
that's bad.
But
So
he
if
still touches interesting topics that I think a lot of people wouldn't touch, and probably and now that he has a large platform, maybe he does have weird contacts, and even like the stories about like his dad working for the fucking being the dentist for like people from the CIA. That's also weird, fucking,
so yeah, if we ask like how can we improve the show, have tight talking points.
I'm on it right now. Don't worry.
I'll let it run wild. I'm not sure if the tight course is the right for this platform, my dude. I do enjoy the interaction between Middle Guy and James when he gets frustrated. I'm sure if he would read chat, I could make him fight.
We
Oh,
need-
of course, you
we
have
need
done
the
it 10
fight-
times
we need the
already.
Fight bell. Ding ding.
Yeah, that's actually a good.
Yeah.
Can you, make a note of that in the Doapness chat? We need a fight bell for next. Just ding ding. All right, motherfucker. Just, that would be hilarious. So yeah. Where were we? Okay, so when he talks about he has psychosis.
Yep.
And he has schizophrenic episodes. Okay,
Okay.
already you're like, okay, then if you know that about yourself, maybe you should dial back the level in which you speak with authority.
Maybe.
No.
But maybe a lot
This
of
is-
fucking people suffer from some sort of psychosis.
And that's why they
anyways.
tune in to Alex Jones. He said himself that a great deal of his supporters are schizophrenics that distrust everything. And the fucked up thing is, Alex Jones is like, I'm not one of them. I do know some things are real. And then when he starts fighting Eddie Bravo about Flat Earth, you're like, oh, so he's not all gone. He's not like, I completely entertain everything. He's like, he believes the Earth is round. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Alex Jones won 1 point with me when he fought Flat Earth because I debated the
You know
Flat Earth
what?
Society.
I think he's more like a comedian in the fact that he just says shit to be entertaining and he doesn't believe everything, and it's like
That's dangerous.
that is dangerous, but so is being a fucking comedian. That's exactly why I made that
But
analogy.
comedians are performing, and people aren't
He's
accidentally.
performing
No,
too.
no, no. The people thing is only stupid people who suffer from context blindness take a comedian's bit when you're doing a stand-up joke, and they're like, "This dude's prejudiced and is calling for hate." No, Alex Jones saying that crisis actors are real and that governments are creating false flag events at school shootings. That's not a comedy bit, James.
You know,
that's not
my
out there.
knowledge on Alex Jones and like what he said is very low, so I wish I could like defend him. But like,
You watched the same fucking thing I did.
but like the things where you're talking about, where he says this, he says that, and in the podcast he says people say that all the time. Or I said this, and like there's articles where I said this, and I actually didn't. I'm just reporting like what's been told and like what I've been told. Like I don't believe it.
The
but
whole
this is what I've
don't
been
shoot the
told.
messenger thing is bullshit when you are one of the largest propagators of misinformation. I don't like that.
Every news outlet.
Yeah, them too. But no news outlet is calling for violence.
Yeah.
No
wait. I don't know if that's true.
Go ahead.
No news outlets calling for violence.
Go ahead.
I think there are some that kind of navigates people's thoughts.
Okay, so here's another segue. It was really interesting because like I largely regard Alex Jones as like a right-wing character. Okay, I don't know if you do, but I do because of his initial alignment with Trump, and he was very anti-Hillary, which doesn't necessarily. A lot of people were reactionary about that. That doesn't necessarily mean that they have one political leaning or the other.
Yeah.
Some people hear a thing about someone and go, oh, well, then I'm going to be the opposite of that shit.
Yeah.
And like that is a horrible fucking way to live.
People do that all
Because
the time.
I know it's left and right. Everyone does that. It's fucking stupid. But I always considered Alex Jones to be right-leaning because of some of his ideals. He's very like Catholic. He's very about the family. I don't know how he stands on abortion, but the way he talks is very like pro-life in a lot of ways. I don't know. I don't care. But just like my gut feeling is like, hey, he's kind of on the right. But he started on the left. That was the weird thing. Is like he was going after George Bush.
Yep.
Like 10 or 20 years ago now. He's going after George Bush. Dude was like doing leftist activism.
Yep.
And then slowly started melding and then became a super pro-Trump guy. And then I guess started turning back and isn't so pro-Trump. But the thing is, like, if you go look at any of these eras that he has existed in, he speaks with like such devotion to the one thing that he's currently on, and he doesn't really realize like, oh shit, I've changed over 20 years. Maybe I should allow more wiggle room and be like, hey, this is what I'm currently into. I like these ideas. No, he goes, this is the ultimate truth, and this is the thing that will free the world right now. And it's like, man, chill out. Everything exists on a spectrum. There's no ultimate. I feel these ulcers coming from the Baja Blast, by the way.
I know.
You too?
Insane.
Yeah, I feel
My
like
stomach
shit already.
hurts. Getting the caffeine crash, I feel like shit.
Yeah, my 2.5 rating has dropped to 1.5.
Yeah, my 0.5 dropped to a 0.1.
0 dropped to negative.
But here's the thing: is this dude who freaks out about all this shit? I saw him as largely right wing,
Yeah.
and now he's like, he actually said this blew my fucking mind. He's like, when they asked him like, hey, are you leaning right or leaning left? He's like, I don't fucking care, left, right. I'm not a party person. I'm like an idea person. Blah blah. I was like, okay, that's really interesting. And then it was really interesting because he's largely anti-SJW shit.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, how do you feel about the left right now? And he's like, it's the right that's perverting the left and using them as a scapegoat.
Yep.
And I was like, oh shit, Alex Jones just won 2 points with me. And that was weird because like I fucking hated Alex Jones before I like started watching. Hated him. The dude spreads horrible ideas. He entertains such garbage that it violated a lot of things that I fucking believe. And but like to hear him go like
thing where you're like he's spewing like hot garbage and shit. It's like you just go straight to the school shooting shit, and like he even kind of.
Why are we supposed to gloss that over?
He even addresses that in the podcast where it's like he didn't say all this horrible shit really. Like he just he mentioned it, and then he mentioned it like 4 times, and then people kept bringing it up. And then he apologized for it, and then he got fucking taken down.
I guarantee you, when you look up how he mentioned it, it's not gonna be like, hey guys.
I mean, I need to look it
okay,
up.
me
to
too.
Really make
but
a
here,
full judgment.
okay, I'm gonna be Alex Jones for a second, okay?
Okay.
Tell me if this sounds like his character, okay? Hi guys, welcome to InfoWars. We were presented some information. We're not sure if it's true. We're not sure. We haven't done our research yet, but this is a fun little thought experiment. We don't know, but here's an idea. This is just a discussion.
Yeah.
I just want to entertain this idea. Don't know if it's true. So there might be a thing called crisis actors, and we might be in the middle of a false flag event. Not sure. I'm not saying don't trust the government. I'm not saying that false flag events happen. Blah blah blah. I'm just saying this is a thought experiment. Just something to think about. Just a discussion. Does that sound like Alex Jones to you?
Yeah. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
that sounds. Yeah,
No, it
I'm sure. No, that dude,
does.
motherfucker. I don't even have to see the clips. That dude went up there and was like, "These fucking presidential candidates are perverting our system." Dude, no, that
No,
Alex.
because that wasn't entertaining what you did, and what he does is entertaining.
It doesn't matter, dude. If you're using,
It does matter.
if you're speaking about things like their ultimate truth just to be entertaining, you should be held accountable. No, you don't think that talking about ideas as if they are truths, you shouldn't be held accountable when it backfires?
You should be sort of accountable, but not.
What do you mean,
like,
sort of? What's it? You should be sort of sentenced to death. I want you half dead.
You don't, I
Lobotomy.
don't think he. I don't know. I gotta do some more research. I don't think he actually called for violence on anyone. I think.
Okay.
I don't think he does as horrible
Okay,
shit as what
let me-
people say.
Let me rephrase. If Alex Jones spoke about false flag shootings,
Yep.
so you agree they happened?
The false flag.
No, well,
shootings
you
or-
agree that mass gun violence is an issue in schools in America.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so you agree.
Yep.
If he spoke in direct contradiction to that as if it were factual,
Yep.
do you think he was rightfully punished?
If he spoke in contradiction to it.
Like if he said
Yeah.
without an absolute
Yeah.
doubt, these are wrong.
Yeah.
These are false flags. No children died. These are actors. You should feel bad. These parents are scum.
I think he should do a better job at proving that they're fake.
I
But
agree.
like I said.
Answer my question.
I haven't watched the episodes where he like.
If he did speak the way that you know Alex Jones speaks
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
do you think that him being taken off of some, not all, some social media sites is acceptable?
No, I don't think he should be taken off social media.
So you
sites.
think we should water down all of our social media sites with bullshit that has no proof?
It's already watered down bullshit. Look at us. Look at this podcast. So if I can.
And that ends our 5th episode of the Doapness. That is fucking hilarious.
Like, oh fuck, man. I don't think you should mute people like that unless they're actually telling people to hurt other people. Like that, you should not have that. And I've seen it on the internet tons of times, like from like just random people, like especially like liberals, I guess, American liberals. I don't know, man. It's so like fucking exhausting. Like I'm at a point where I don't care. I do my own fucking research, and
Yeah.
that's a big problem with Alex Jones's audience. Is they
don't.
don't do research at all.
And
They
you don't
take-
think he capitalizes on that?
he probably does?
So?
Like he even says it. Like what was the one where he covered someone getting shot by cops, and he like covered it, and then like he got $1 million from like black people. And he's like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize the person was black, and they like he's like getting commemorated.
Like I said, a
for-
broken clock is right 2 times a day.
Yeah, but like people need to do their research, and that's just like a thing people need to fucking do, and it's not his fault that people are stupid. Like
I think it is his fault people are stupid.
no,
I do.
It's your fault people are stupid then too, because like why aren't you,
Because I
like-
make stupid trash like this.
Yeah, like fuck. Oh man.
I don't. Okay, I believe. Okay, let's dial back
Yeah.
and get to the philosophy. Not Alex Jones as an example, but yeah, we're using Alex Jones as an example. But like, let's make some philosophical, over-reductive new rules. Like if we're like, okay, going forward,
Yeah.
humanity as a whole, using Alex Jones as a fucking case study. Once you hit a level of notoriety, should you be held more accountable for the shit that you're able to propagate?
Ooh, that's a good one. But I mean, with the invent of the internet, anyone can view your stuff. So like,
Don't answer the fucking question.
should you be more accountable? Oh man.
You know the answer is yes. You're just afraid to sound like you're contradicting
Well,
yourself.
I'm saying yeah, but like, it doesn't happen. So like,
It doesn't matter what it is. Going forward, if we were like, hey,
how do you rate how influential you really are? You know what I mean? Like,
how what? Sorry,
how do you rate how influential you are? Like,
influential.
Yeah.
Oh,
influential, sorry. How do you like who's going to decide it? Do we go to the courts? Do we go to the fucking?
okay. Then let's not
Then
even
it's
look.
The government.
let's-
Then it
th-
goes down to the government
Here's-
choosing
okay.
free speech. You know?
Okay, yeah, I agree. That was my next question. We're going into that territory. Let's completely disregard the how influential. Let's go. Should certain ideas not be given fuel? Like, for example, eugenics or phrenology.
Okay.
You know, like bunk sciences and shit. Bad ideas. Holocaust deniers.
Yep. Okay. So should Facebook? Or no, actually, should should Facebook, Spotify, and everything judge your music and pull it off just because they don't like rap?
Here's the thing. Okay, so I agree with everything you've said. I honestly do. I do agree that free speech, I totally agree that free speech should happen. If you have a bad or wrong idea, you should be able to say something about it.
Yep.
When you have as much money coming from wrong people who believe what you do as Alex Jones does, you're no longer just a guy with ideas. You have power. Do you understand? Like, we get into some gray, muddy territory
It's a very
here.
gray area, but
It is, because that dude has power. Think about how much money comes into that guy.
Yeah.
Right? Have you ever seen how much he's worth, how much he throws around, how much InfoWars makes? It's a little bit less now, but it's not that much less compared to before.
Well,
He
it must
has
be quite a bit if he had like 6 bank accounts.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Okay. So now at what point? Now imagine giving a Holocaust denier $2 billion. What do you expect is going to happen?
I don't know. I don't.
Come on.
Depends
You
on
know.
who that
No, you know.
depends on who that
You
person
know.
is.
You know what's going to happen. Some bad ideas are going to get spread around a lot more.
Yeah.
So at what point do you step in and say, "Okay, this is bad"? Do you understand now?
Yes,
You do.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
I made my point.
I understand where you're going with that.
Okay. So there is a point. It is shitty. I do agree that maybe some rights have been violated. Unfortunately, certain social media sites that have blacklisted this fucking dude, they have the right to do it. It's shitty. I do understand that in today's social climate and culture, they're utilities, as you said. They are. Imagine not being able to use YouTube these days.
I just feel like you're giving too much power to someone whose only power is using their voice and not putting enough power on like actual politicians who can actually change things and people.
Okay.
You know, like
We're talking about
understand-
silencing someone from social media, correct?
James, do you understand that a reality TV show personality is in the White House right now at the top?
Yeah, I guess that's fucking true.
The end.
That is true.
Like, what the fuck? These aren't just people anymore. Okay? Everyone has the ability to spread shit that is regressive and takes the human beings. Dude, we have a flat earther problem. Does that not tell you that maybe some bad ideas need to be fucking snipped?
Yeah.
And imagine a really, really, really passionate flat earther being given.
Hey, maybe
No,
it's just
I'm not-
evolution. Maybe it's just like with the 4chan fucking trolling. They're just trying to weed out the really fucking dumb people.
Keep up, bitch. If you don't know truth from if you don't know truth from reality, fucking you're
You
extinct.
fell for free bleeding. Get out.
Stupid.
Oh my fucking god. Oh
for
my god.
Bieber.
But okay, so through that whole spiel over the last 20 minutes, I got you to agree with me. So I feel like I won. No, I'm just kidding. So it's not a competition. I just want you to understand that, like, it's
Well, I
not just
still believe
it's
in
not
the
just
clock-
you have to
clockwork-
understand. Clockwork elves?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Maybe there are clockwork
Maybe,
elves.
I've never seen them, so I've never.
Me
smoked
neither, because they
DMT.
don't exist. So
might-
they don't.
Yeah,
That's
you've
not.
never. That's hard for you to say.
If there are clockwork elves,
Yep. Have you ever seen a black hole?
no.
Well, then
How can you see something that is the opposite of being able to? That's like saying, can you see the reflective surface off of Vanta Black? Nope.
Maybe.
No.
That's like say. Maybe if you smoke DMT, you can see it.
Okay.
Because it takes the filter off.
Do you think ingesting DMT is part of the normal human biological experience?
Perhaps.
Do you think answers come from seeing
Actually,
things they're not supposed to see?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yeah because humans have been doing drugs for a long time, so maybe it is a process
Do you think it's
to human nature.
No, I don't buy that shit for a second.
Why not?
Okay.
Fucking leopards fucking do DMT too.
Okay, what?
Yeah, fucking big cats. They eat a certain type of grass and they fucking trip the fuck out on DMT.
Do you think they eat grass to find out how the universe works?
No, they do it to get high.
The end.
They do it to get high.
So okay,
'Cause
here's the
they're
thing. Here's the thing.
animals, and
Okay,
that's what
we're
animals do.
gonna
They like
get back to
different
that.
experiences, you know.
It probably just feels good. The end.
Maybe.
No, it's like coming. Do you think orgasms feel good by coincidence? No, it's because it's what biology
reproduction.
wants from you.
Maybe. Okay, then maybe doing the DMT to these fucking clockwork elves is actually like
I know where
another
you're going
step
with this.
in fucking evolution
okay.
to like,
All right.
you know?
All right, I'm gonna
the same
articulate.
reason we orgasm.
I'm gonna. I smoke DMT to spread fucking the progression of
truth.
humanity.
The truth.
Okay, I'm gonna articulate a thought that's kind of tricky.
All right.
Okay, I'm pausing the music 'cause I gotta focus. I don't. Are you getting this X-Files fucking thing ready? I don't think that illegitimate processes of consumption actually open your mind. I think it makes you see things that aren't there. I do. I think like I've never heard like even the most like interdimensional, extra-dimensional interfacing with extra-dimensional beings. Every single one has been so unimaginative and blatantly affectated by a person's human experience that I'm like, motherfucker, you can communicate with shit. Why would anything that high and powerful give a fuck about you? Makes no
I
sense.
agree with that last part. But
Okay,
I disagree
exactly.
with the first part.
Hang on, I'm not done. I don't think that first, let's get this out of the way. In incinerating something and inhaling it, not a normal form of consumption anywhere across all of life as we know it. No one goes, I'm going to apply fire to whatever and inhale it.
But it's been happening for so long. Like,
Let me just, but it doesn't matter.
so are you
So
saying,
has
like,
so
you're just
so has
saying-
female circumcision. Does
so
that
are you
mean it's
saying,
like natural?
Other animals don't do it, so it's not part of nature?
No, I'm saying
or-
if you weren't affected by civilization
Yep.
and society, you would not be incinerating a thing and inhaling it, no
I
matter
don't
what it
think
is.
that's
Fully true. Fully true.
like didn't fucking
Your lungs are not.
didn't the Native Americans kind of
Yeah, they.
start
Yeah, I'm
that?
sorry. Native Americans.
or does that not count as civilization?
No, it counts as civilization,
Okay.
but that's affected by civilization. That's a social thing. Incinerating anything and inhaling it, that's your body is not supposed to be doing it. Doesn't matter what it is.
But it does do it. So how does that like?
So
How is it
okay,
not
all
supposed
right.
to be doing that?
So
Like, I
intravenous.
don't get what
all
you
right,
mean. You know what I mean?
intravenous. Okay, why don't we intravenously inject drugs that make it? Okay, here's my fucking issue with hippies. Okay,
Yep.
and all these fucking like, ooh, DMT opens your mind thing. Bullshit. Why aren't you fucking snorting shit to open your mind? I guess some of you do. Why don't you intravenously do drugs? Ooh, that's a taboo. Why? You're incinerating shit and putting it in your fucking lungs. How is that any different from putting things directly into your fucking blood? Like, how do you compartmentalize what's a normal form and a healthy form and a spiritual form of consumption versus literally any other form of fucking consumption? You're not woke just because you smoke something. That makes no fucking sense to me. Just because you see shit that your brain is
It probably
struggling to
doesn't
piece
make
together.
sense to you because you've never done it.
Yeah.
Sounds like an addict.
Maybe. You know what? Like.
Yeah, you know what? Can I just say that logic is like you've never had a brain tumor, therefore you
you're-
can't remove one.
You're absolutely right.
It makes no sense.
See,
Absolutely
what
right.
you're kind of like. I feel like you're kind of telling me like, you shouldn't go visit a place, even though you've never been there. You know what I mean? Like, you're telling me to not go experience someone else's culture because you've never been there, so you don't like understand the experience. It's like it's about the experience and it's about mental growth. And
Exactly.
yeah.
No, I agree. It's about the experience.
Yeah, it's about
Okay.
the experience. So that's why
Visiting
people
another
do it.
culture. Visiting another culture is about. I agree. Okay, I will agree with you that people consume hallucinogenics to open their minds.
in a sense. But yeah, and you can't
Yeah.
overdo it. You can overdo
Okay. Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
no, you can't really overdo visiting other cultures. Well, no, I guess you can. Yeah, I
think
guess you can.
can.
Yeah.
And then
'Cause
you
then
get
you have no-
consumed by that culture and like.
Or you think you're too woke because you've experienced
Yeah.
5% of everything rather than jack of all trades, master of none. So okay, I'm not saying experiencing other things is bad. I'm saying acting like you're exposing yourself to hidden truths is bad. When all you're doing is consuming a thing and your brain is having
That's fair.
a form of psychosis and is compensating with hallucinations, you don't find out how the universe works by consuming something to perceive a new one. That makes no fucking sense.
But it could help you. It
'Kay.
could help you think in
Who's
a different
claiming
path.
who's claiming that you figure out how the universe works?
Alex Jones. You smoke DMT? Well, here's the thing.
He
Here's the
didn't
thing
say
is
that. So you're putting
No,
you're putting
he-
words in his mouth.
he says if you smoke DMT, you can communicate with extra dimensional beings.
That's what he was been told. He said he didn't believe it, but that's what he's been
I
told.
d- you're making me want to watch all fucking 5 hours of this shit again to find the point where he's like,
Dude,
I don't believe
I'm
this.
pretty sure it's at like the fucking 3-hour mark or 3.5 hour mark. Like says that shit.
But anyhow, it's a thought. Whether he believes or not, it's what he's talking about. He says that government officials believe, like I'm talking like high up government officials, believe that they're in communication with a higher intelligence that is guiding them with technology and hints about the future and stuff. Because they're extra-dimensional beings that they're communicating by smoking DMT, and they have an extra-dimensional ambassador that communicates with humans. And the only way they can communicate with humans is by humans smoking DMT to sit in a room with this extra-dimensional being. And that is the biggest crock of shit I have ever been sold.
Yes, everything you said is a crock of shit, definitely. But the act of smoking something and it awakening something in your brain, I do not think is unnatural. Because you burn a fire, you breathe in the smoke accidentally.
Also unnatural. All burnt anything is carcinogenic. Let's get that out of the way.
Over time, it just you burn the wrong thing and you inhale
That's why
the
you
wrong
need to
thing.
vape, bro.
Yeah, no, totally. It's
all
the
natural.
healthy
It's all
choice.
that's churro flavored. It's organic. Just need to vape it, bro. Anyhow, maybe Alex Jones makes money off selling that. Yep. But off of DMT, yeah. Okay. I do that point you made before. We were talking about the natural form of consumption thing. I don't believe you. I just don't believe that hooping, injecting, snorting, dropping in your eye, drilling into your ear, tapping your brain, and smoking things are natural forms of consumption.
No, but what
Humans, all living things, just eat something. They don't put things in their brain. They don't inhale them and hope to get woke. You don't like smell is about as close to inhaling something and receiving new information as we can get, and you're only getting.
But like smoking something is like a technology in a sense. You know what I mean?
I want to hear that explained.
Like you're not going to see a fucking cat make a cigarette or like roll a fucking joint. Like they're incapable. It's almost like a technology.
Okay, that's fair.
In
That's
a sense. And I mean, just we have control of fire.
Okay.
So like, what are the chances of like an animal just discovering to fucking smoke something?
Do you understand how harmful radiation is to the human body?
Very. Yeah.
Okay. Do you also understand how helpful an X-ray is?
Yeah.
So on the spectrum is like constantly exposing yourself to an X-ray, you're getting fucking cancer.
Yeah,
But if you need to look at something real quick, or maybe quell some anxiety or some swelling, THC and CBD are great for that shit.
Yeah.
Depending. Obviously not crazy. This is a spectrum conversation again. It's another gray, muddy area. But you know what I mean? Like, X-ray is a technology. We can use it for good or we can use it for bad. But the one, you know, you're not looking at X-rays and being like, I have unlocked the truth to the universe.
Yeah, actually, we do use X-rays to look at space.
Yeah, it's true. You can
certain nebulae. And
okay,
all
here's the
that.
difference, though. Here's the distinction between. I was just making another point about because you called marijuana a technology. That's a cool.
Not the plant itself, just like
the ritual.
The ritual is more of the
No,
technology of it.
and you know what? I've never heard that articulated before, and I actually really like that. That's interesting. It is. Applying fire to something, because no other animal cooks either. You know what I mean?
But like deer eat marijuana. They like it. They like getting high. So but you'll never see a fucking deer fucking in your backyard smoking a joint. Like,
can you eat something that unlocks DMT in your brain?
Yeah. That's what the big cats do. They eat a certain grass that's high in DMT. They eat a fuck ton of it, and then they just fucking
see the elves.
They roll
they
around.
See the clockwork
roll
elves.
around, and scientists assume that they're just tripping balls because they don't have the enzyme in their stomach that breaks down the DMT, so they actually get high. Humans have it.
Wait. What's the difference then? If they don't have the enzyme to break it down and we do, what's the difference?
They'll get high from eating grass that has DMT because DMT is in basically everything.
Oh, okay.
But it's at certain levels, and there's like
that sounds like poison. If your body doesn't have the ability to break something down.
Just the human,
yeah. And on that note,
basically,
let's go back to our Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Human stomachs is just a very complex thing.
You know
That's why we,
Here I am talking about natural forms of consumption in this video, started with me consuming a liter of Baja Blast. Hypocrite. Okay. Anyhow, This is just gonna be a philosophical agreement. I don't think that hallucinations show you the way to fucking anything.
No, but they'll change your thought process.
I do agree. A friend that you and I have that we've mentioned him on this podcast a number of times. Won't name him though, out of respect. He made a good point once where I was like, I just don't understand the point of creating false realities or whatever. He's like, yeah, it's just like to understand that there's other ways to view reality.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. I vibe with that. If you're going to bend your brain just a little bit to perceive things differently, fun experiment, the end. But if you take things and you're like, I'm tapping into the eternal truth, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
You're fucked.
That's total bullshit.
So that's where I get pissed off when people are like, I smoke DMT and I see how the universe works. No, you don't. You trip and you're trying to make sense just of the the sound deprivation room that we're speaking about earlier. Your brain is trying to compensate and make sense of something that makes no sense to it because it's not supposed to be happening. You're not supposed to be exposed to minus 40 decibel sound.
But you actually can hear your blood running.
That's not normal. Your brain will look.
Of course it's not normal.
Listen, have you heard the people's like personal accounts of hearing their blood running?
Yeah, no,
They think it's screaming and trains and shit.
It's sickening.
Why do you think they think it's screaming and trains and shit when it's just their blood running? Because their brain is trying to fill in the gaps. So they're perceiving it as something it isn't. Which is why I'm also going back to your guys' sleep paralysis stories. The fact that you felt that there was a presence there that was personified as like a demon or a
But it
thing
wasn't
there.
until I saw that presence that I looked it up and found out that other people saw a presence as well.
Okay.
So how could I hear about it if I never knew about it?
Have you ever heard the theory that the reason gray aliens that are meant to that are supposedly visiting everyone is actually a deeply programmed, because you know how like facial recognition is deeply programmed in our instincts?
Yeah.
Like if a newborn baby is born with a dog and a mom around it 24 hours a day, it's eventually going to know that it is related to the mom and not the dog. Just because facial recognition is one of the first programmed things in our brains. You know that? Okay.
Makes sense.
Have you ever heard the theory that the human skull is deeply programmed in our brains as well to allow us to understand that, like, oh, that's what we look like when we die, so it's danger. It's just big bad danger. So if you see a skull, it means, oh, there's a predator nearby that eats humans or something. Have you ever heard of that?
Makes sense.
No, but that makes sense.
Okay, so there is a theory that, you know, this is just a theory. I do believe aliens exist, but just way beyond our understanding.
Yep.
I do. So the theory is that the gray alien, big gray dome, sunken black, two little dots, which is the nasal cavity, little tiny mouth or whatever, is actually the instinctual imprint face of bad skull, which is in every fucking culture for as long as humans have ever existed, imprinted on a thing that the mind can't actually comprehend as a physical thing. So when you get these alien abduction hallucinations or false perceptions or whatever, they go, oh, it looks like this thing, and everyone draws the same thing. And it's like, oh, okay, because that's deeply rooted in your psychology, in your instinct level. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if there's any fucking merit to it, but that was a fun thing to think about. So anyhow, going back to hallucinations and shit, the one thing that kind of upset me about Alex Jones on the Joe Rogan thing recently was when he was talking about himself as if he was kind of like, I think he is delusional to a level.
Yeah.
I do, because he talked about his like predictive dreams. First of all, everyone has those.
Yeah.
Everyone on
has
Earth.
the feeling to feel unique too. So.
Also true.
Yeah.
But I wish I could pull this up right now, but they did a study and found out what deja vu exactly is.
Really?
Yeah. So when you have that sensation, you're like, I dreamt this, and you're like in the exact same position.
Yep. Happens to me all the time. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing.
All the time.
Is you actually have no recollection of that dream, because isn't that always the way? You don't. It's a dream you just forget about, and then like a year later, you'll be like,
purple sweater. Yeah, purple sweater. I remember that. Yeah.
right? Okay. So you actually, if you didn't, okay, because we're talking about purple green striped sweater guy that mugged him.
Oh yeah.
You remember?
Yeah.
Okay. If he did not have that experience,
Yep.
and you asked him to remember a dream about a purple and green sweater, he would not be able to.
Yeah.
Okay, it's gone.
Yeah.
But when the experience happens again, you're like, holy fuck, I dreamt this a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Okay. that actually is not from a dream. What they found out is that your perception of time gets scrambled when your right brain and your left brain struggle to properly compartmentalize the experience you're currently having. So it's just misplaced information finding its right place. So when Alex Jones in this fucking podcast is like, oh yeah, I was mugged by a dude in a purple and green sweater, and I was like, I dreamt this. He's gonna mug me. And I don't know how the rest of that story actually goes because he didn't get into it like, I said, beat the fuck out of this innocent man. Because but what actually is happening during deja vu moments like that, they have found that your brain is receiving new information that you have never heard of ever before, and then placing it in a different compartment in your brain or trying a new pathway out because you actually, it gives you the sensation that like, oh shit, I have experienced this before. You haven't. That information just passed through a memory place that feels like you have.
Do you ever get deja vu and then try to predict the next thing that's going to happen as soon as it hits you?
I used to. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. That's why. Is
Yeah.
because they found out that the sensation of feeling like you've done this before is a fallacy inside your own brain. It's a hallucination.
But yeah, just you trying to predict the next thing though is just proof that it's bullshit.
Okay, so on that note, because we've talked about how like
Oh, Alex Jones 24/7. We're never going to stop talking about him.
this whole episode's about him. I'm sorry. I'm crashing on this Baja Blast. That's fucking funny. So the next point I want to get into is that like Alex Jones and Kanye have a lot in common, I think.
Okay.
When they brought up his head trauma, I wasn't like, haha, because like, was it Eddie Bravo, whoever, when he was like, did you get dropped on your head? Like, it sounded like a joke that you would joke about your buddy when your buddy's like talking shit and you're like, man, were you dropped on your head as a kid? It's just such a like a rude thing to say that it's like really dismissive.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll dial back, Skrowski. I'll let you keep dictating this via chat. Oh, you were not AFK, fuck off. I noticed you were chatting the entire time, you fuck. So I love you, whoever you are. Probably one of Matt's close buddies because you know so much about him.
No idea.
It'll be revealed in a later episode.
As our guest.
As like someone behind a veil. That's fucking Skrowski, you're our next guest on our next show.
Just get a green man suit and come on.
Yeah, because he won't be able to see it. Yo, yeah, just like a morph suit, and you'll be sitting right here as this like absence of person, and at the very end, aha! It is. It was I, Alex Jones. But here's the thing: is like a lot because like I love Kanye's music. I think a lot of things Kanye does is atrocious. I love Kanye's music though.
Talented artist.
Very. No, I don't even know so much anymore. His newer stuff I don't give a fuck about. But like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard in my life. But albeit he did hire 50 of the greatest minds on earth to come together and piece it together. So I feel like it wasn't all him. It was a collaborative effort. But Kanye's psychoses and neuroses present themselves in really shitty, unhealthy ways. But then when you know about how severe trauma victims, physical trauma, slowly degrade over time, you're like, you kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Because have you ever watched an interview with him 15 years ago? And he's like, he's super with the because like, have you seen any interviews with him now? You ask him something and he does this.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about the music, and you're just like, oh man, that dude's either on pills or retarded. And I do believe a great part of who he was is no longer there anymore, or is locked behind like a mental barrier.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen old videos of Kanye speaking in like old interviews when they're like, hey, how did you come up with this?
Never.
He is so lucid. It like, I could not believe it was the same person. Because I came into Kanye pretty late, and he was already kind of broken and shitty and doing horrible things for attention and publicity. But the lucidity. Oh, sorry.
I yawned.
Oh, the lucidity in which, like, I urge someone to go look at a Kanye interview from 15 years ago and go look at one from last year, and you will see such a fucking drastic dip in lucidity. He's clearly on autopilot with a lot of his weird, crazy compulsions these days. Yeah. And then I note, and he's a victim of severe trauma. I don't know if you know this, but he almost died in a bad car accident aeons ago.
And then he like really popped off after that, right?
Yeah, a really interesting feat after that car accident, his jaw was wired shut because he was all smashed up and shit. He did a record called Through the Wire where he rapped through the wiring.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking gnarly?
Yeah.
Like, that's badass. That's really cool. That's overcoming a giant obstacle. I like that. This sounds heroic. But he's a piece of shit now. But he's incapable of amazing art. It's weird. I noticed the same thing with Alex Jones. And when Joe Rogan was like, have you ever suffered head trauma? Do you think Alex Jones was doing that to take the piss out of him, or because he was trying to figure out why Alex is the way he is? It's because he was trying to figure out why Alex has a hard time.
I don't know. It was like a joke, but like at
But
the
it
same
went
time,
on.
Not really.
But here's do you remember when Joe Rogan in that episode was like made the comparison to the NFL?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it wasn't just a joke. It was very seriously like a sincere like, hey man, maybe you have a gap between what's real and what's fake, and you have a gap between what you're trying to say and what is said, and you have a gap between discerning, maybe this gap is indicative of head trauma that
Yeah.
because these things are they're neurodegenerative over time.
Yeah.
Like, concussions add up.
Oh yeah, like seeing like boxers in their older age,
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
can barely speak and shit. Yeah,
It's sad.
Yeah,
It's sad. Apparently there was a movie with Will Smith about
Concussion.
Oh, you know it?
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
Not all of it.
What's it called?
Concussion.
Oh, it's called Concussion.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's about the doctor who's like, holy fuck, what goes on in the NFL that's normalized is like ruining lives and shit.
Yeah.
And the NFL, which is a multi-billion-dollar agency, is like, we need to shut this dude the fuck up or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is weird that we're smashing people's brains. I mean, they get danger pay. They make a lot of money. It might be
A lot.
juice might be worth the squeeze with how much they make. But like, yeah, get into NFL for a few years and then dip.
Yeah.
But then you got people who do it for the rest of their lives and then they get fucked up when they're older.
Yeah.
But my point is, people who suffer head trauma lose a great deal of who they are.
Yeah.
And it's depressing. And when Joe Rogan asked Alex Jones about his head trauma and he went into it, and you're like I actually felt like, in my mind, that's when Alex Jones went from like purveyor of shitty ideas to victim
But
of
it's
circumstance.
like his head trauma didn't even seem that bad though. Like in comparison to like what's her name when Joe Rogan had Roseanne on.
I don't know this.
Dude, when
Wait,
she,
is this after her explosive?
Yeah.
After she said the shitty things?
Yeah, but she like talks about like before she got into comedy, she was like a straight A student, like a genius almost, and she was walking.
Sounds
to
like something
school.
Roseanne would say.
Yeah,
I was yeah, that's something Alex Jones and Kanye say
she
too.
said she was like really fucking good at math. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe her.
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't believe her.
Why
I was. I'm
She was,
fucking
like,
stupid
really
now.
Fucking good at math.
Yep.
And then she was walking to school one day, and the sun blinded a driver, and the car just went and hit her, and her head, fucking like, or the car emblem on the top on the hood, fucking like went into her head basically, and she got fucked up. She was in the hospital for a while, and after she got out, she was very aggressive. She wasn't good at math anymore, and she was like funny now, and it's just like
Weird.
that's like a
Personality switch.
That's a huge personality switch.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's
very
like,
interesting.
It's what like turned her into who she is today. Is like that fucking sassy,
Racist Ambien, take it. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you know the whole thing with it. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I do. It is really tragic. I know. I actually got some friends that were one person before an accident. One was a biking accident. One was a car accident. One was a fight. And they suffered severe brain damage. And seeing your friend locked inside another person, it just sounds like the scariest thing ever. I have another friend that we actually made an 18-minute long song about her before she passed away. She dosed herself in a bad time to the point where she lost herself. She wasn't coming back. And she knew, and she had a hard time communicating after she experimented with a large amount of hallucinogens at a very bad time with bad combination of circumstances and environment around her. She never came back. It's just really scary and shitty to see someone suffer some form of either chemical imbalance or physical head trauma that changes them. Because like my buddy Kevin, fucking he was just on a bike trip with his dad or whatever, and he went a little bit off trail and fell down a mountain for a long period of time.
Wow.
Yeah, he got like severe brain damage. He was in the hospital for years.
Yeah.
Like 2 fucking years. They were rehabilitating him and putting his organs and limbs back together and shit. When he came out, he's like, I know I'm very stupid now. Like, I can't figure things out. He's on permanent assistance.
Yeah.
He's a pleasant man, thankfully. He didn't go all fucking Kanye or Alex Jones and think he started
It's
speaking
weird
to
that
God.
People seem to like get angry after like
That's
stuff
normal.
Like that.
That's normal.
That's weird. That's like
Well, think about it. What's rabies?
more
Do you know what rabies does? Swells your brain.
Oh, okay.
What's the first sign of rabies? Aggression.
And I guess like was that the Abdullah Mang? I don't even. I
Has a
can't
lot to do with
speak.
your. I could be wrong about this, but from what, because it's been years since I looked into this, but I was really interesting why aggression always went hand in hand with certain traumas, and it has to do with like the frontal cortex swelling and shit.
Okay.
Like lights are irritating. Like, you know, when like water's too hot and light is too bright, it stresses you out and makes you like frustrated.
Yeah.
It's like that for everything.
That makes
Apparently,
sense.
people who suffer from rabies, it's where the whole vampirism urban legend comes from. Vampirism is supposed to be rabies. You attack people, you bite them
Yeah.
for their blood. You avoid the sun because it hurts you.
Yeah.
You mean you avoid garlic because it overstimulates your nose.
That makes a lot.
You
of
become
sense.
hypersensitive. So sensitive people are violent. Watch out. I'll get you because I write poetry. But yeah, when you started talking about his head trauma, I felt really bad for him.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh fuck, like, and then I made my Kanye comparison. So this is the point I want to get to and like kind of wrap things up on this. Because this episode's gone on for
Too
like
long.
2, 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours.
3.5.
We're at 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Holy
We're going for the Alex Jones marathon.
fuck me.
He did 440. We're doing 441.
So, man, Skowski, if you're still here, I love you. Thank you for putting up with us. There's just so much to unpack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was only 440 is huge, but there's a lot to unpack in everything that is said. But I'm gonna turn the music off so I can focus and articulate this point and get the fuck offline because this has been going on forever. So, I'm a very passionate person and I believe in what I believe very strongly. As a younger person, you get like insanely passionate and you're like, cool, I have found a sense of identity. This is who I am, blah, 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 blah. And then things over time show you that everyone is in direct contradiction with themselves. Everyone's a hypocrite. Everyone is fallible. Good people do bad things. Bad people do good things. You have some identity crisis. Then you're like, okay, I know what I stand for. I know what I like, but I'm not going to go fucking inflict that on everyone else, no matter how much I think like it is the right way. You just live your life and hopefully it's an example for other people, etc. But as a young kid, especially a politically active kid, you make really passionate, like, oh, I hold this. This is part of my identity, which is where I think a lot of the SJW right versus left thing is coming from these days. It's young people. A lot of time. What 60-year-old SJW is like fucking crying on the internet because poetry? Wait.
Not many. There probably are a few, but not many.
Okay, so this is the point I want to make. I also used to entertain the idea, I should say, that giving someone a platform like Alex Jones, and this has been a cornerstone of our debate all fucking day, is that giving them the ability to speak a bunch of bullshit actually gives bullshit power, and then you get flat earthers. Obviously, that's an extreme example, but I mean it. It's like if you entertain bad ideas enough, people with weak resolve are going to adopt bad ideas, and they go vote, and then next thing you know, flat earthers.
Yeah.
That was
think.
groupthink. Yeah, because herd mentality is a fucking thing, regardless of if it's correct or incorrect information, right or left. But in hearing about Alex Jones's traumas, hearing about Mike Tyson's childhood, hearing about the proxy benefits of Dr. Phil's show that usually don't get spoken about, hearing people that I don't like speak made me have like a sincere human appreciation for them. Even though Alex Jones, I feel, is still kind of shitty in a lot of ways, and even though Dr. Phil and Mike Tyson have done horrible things that I don't agree with and I'm deeply conflicted by, I do understand that all these people, in one way or another, are victims of circumstance, the way they've been raised. I don't believe free will exists as much as we think it does. It violates a deep part of me. But read Sam Harris's book, Free Will. You'll see that like free will is kind of a fallacy. People are the results of their circumstances and environments. There's only so much you could do to contradict that.
Yeah.
Hearing people I don't like speak, because I've been going on these walks that last 6 hours, 8 hours at a time. I have the time to ingest entire Joe Rogan podcasts. I'm listening to people I don't like speak. And even though I might still disagree with them, I do not hate them anymore. And I feel like that is something that I wish more people had time for. I understand like society is really fast paced. Not a lot of people have a lot of free time to just give people they don't like the time of day.
Yeah.
But people were like I wanted material for this podcast. So I was like, okay, Alex Jones and Joe Rogan are going to war. I want to check that out.
Yeah.
Just because it'd make for a good conversation. Because I know you kind of entertain some stuff and I entertain different stuff. Make for a good conversation, if not fucking stupid entertainment. I gave it a chance, and by the end of it, 5 hours later, unfortunately, but by the end of it, I felt a more human connection towards a person who I still think is pretty shitty. But at least now I know they're not shitty because they're evil. They're just a misguided human being that has been fed wrong information and does not have problem-solving skills as high as I wish they did, even though they have large amounts of influence. So, in conclusion to this massive fucking episode, if anyone ever gets to this point, I just want to say that hopefully, like this last week of listening to people I don't like speak has given me a life lesson, and I'm probably going to chill the fuck out more from that day forward, whichever day.
You should always listen to people you don't like.
I know,
You know?
I agree, but I also agreed with
Always
like
listen to conflicting ideas.
but I was on the fence about entertaining because I could not digest Alex Jones.
Yeah.
Like the first Joe Rogan Alex Jones, I could only get like an hour and a half in before I started feeling sick because it made no sense.
Yeah.
He didn't string any ideas together. You know what I mean? He was just whereas
Yeah.
this new episode, Joe was like, pump the brakes.
Yeah.
You have to explain what you just went through. And it went 5 hours.
And it's great.
But I learned more, and I learned that the dude is just broken, not evil.
Yeah.
Whereas before I thought like he was evil.
I feel like most people, you could say that about. They're just broken, not evil.
That's
There
true.
are definitely some evil motherfuckers.
It's true. But
Yeah.
basically, this last week of listening to people I don't like has taught me some wisdom.
Yeah.
And I'm going to entertain a lot of things. And this whole Zizek versus Peterson thing, I hope people realize that too. Hearing people articulate their ideas will make you empathize with them a little bit more rather than silencing them, shutting them up, or turning them off, and just denouncing them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I summed up what I want to say.
Yep. You need to listen to the other side to achieve world peace.
This is the most bored I have ever seen Matt. Thanks for coming back, buddy. Wow, that Baja Blast crashed you.
Holy shit.
All that caffeine.
Dude.
I looked it up. One of these. is
Wow.
equivalent to a cup
I
of
can
coffee.
feel it.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, fuck. I drink like 6 of those every morning.
Unless it's like-
Oh, well, I tried. How about you kick it tonight with The Dark Knight, and we do a Heath Ledger tribute with some Brokeback. You play cards, right? I'll role play that shit for you. Well, I was ending it on a deep philosophical note, but now
Thanks for
we're
tuning in, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the follow. We hope to see you next Saturday at 1. Thank you for listening to us for way too fucking long.
Way too long.
Way too long. Oh, yeah, there's 6 people tuned in now as we're signing off. Oh, my God. Enjoy the fucking 4-hour upload we're about to do of this episode. Holy shit. Fuck Alex Jones. Fuck Joe Rogan. Fuck Jordan Peterson. Fuck Mike Tyson. Fuck Dr. Phil. Who else did I get? Fuck Slavoj Zizek. Fuck Dax. Fuck Tory Lanez. Fuck Eminem. Fuck Machine Gun Kelly. I'm going to war. Rap battle. Oh, if you don't give a fuck, step up. I'm the best rapper in the game. I don't give a shit. And then fucking Dax rolls up and politely destroys me. I love you guys. Thank you. See you next Saturday at 1.
You still a bitch.